WIFTV-PM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your Black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and costs. Drug prices require decisions between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like Maze said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
attack. You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
Yeah. All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every Black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Trigger with Instructor Mike on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Why? Why? Because someone told a great guy no.
No! God, please, no! No!
And he told that no, and he said, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and turn that no into next opportunity. That's the latest book I just released, What I Tell Myself About No, because children who do not understand the power of rejection and the propulsion that occurs inside it becomes adults who can't take rejection, and your next opportunity could be right around the corner if you just understand how to use that no. And that's why we exist at What's in It for the Black People Media Network, because someone took a no and said, I'm going to create next opportunity. You're not silencing the voice, because that's what's in it for the black people is the truth. Not always that you want to hear. It's the shit that needs to be said, because our ancestors fought and died to give us the right of access. And who the fuck are you to tell me no? Only on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Hard work. We're on the go. Hard work.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIIFTBPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown him? Then crown her ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only Mike Brown. Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
Hey, what's going on? We are back with another episode of Trigger with Mike Brown. I am your host, Instructor Mike. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're watching on Facebook, like the Maze Jackson page, and send those stars. Shouts out to Kenneth Steele for the Stuck in Fuck Fun. That's amazing. I can't get it every time I hear that. What's going on? We are going to have what a rather controversial, I don't want to say controversial. It's always controversial when I talk. Isn't that something? But we're going to have a bit of a show today because we are going to talk about, are we ready? I saw another picture today, and I'm going to post it up there. This was posted by New Era Chicago. New Era Chicago. And shouts out to them for the good work that they do, okay, when it comes down to the food drives and the Streets Are Watching program, stuff like that. I've seen that, We're going to talk about that because there was a picture that they posted on their Facebook page. That was a picture of some young men holding a rifle and just some of the things that I've seen. Two young men actually holding rifles. And some of the things that I saw in there as a trained firearms instructor and user of a, rifle and pistols and stuff like that, and I just don't like the optics of certain things, because it sends the wrong message. So we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about the unrest in Philadelphia in the wake of another police shooting. We will talk about that unrest in Philly. So we're going to talk about that as well. How you guys doing today? I hope you had a pretty good weekend, stuff like that. If you're watching this, go ahead and share the video because, we're going to keep on having these conversations, in essence, regarding police shootings, and there seems to be no real results or anything like that in sight, and not even in sight, but it just seems to be, I don't see any, because it's always the typical emotional reaction to these shootings, and it's more so the same outcomes, and we're not getting anything out of that. So I've got a proposal. You probably heard me say this before, so I'm going to say it again, and why I think it would work. Why I think it would work for all parties involved, because when I read this, and we'll talk about that. This was a situation where something else could have been done differently. Not necessarily by the police, not necessarily by the man, not necessarily by the parent. It could have been all three parties involved. So we'll get to that. But this is a picture that I'm talking about. So New Era Chicago put this on their Facebook page. And you can see it on the screen. And the caption says New Era Chicago. And it says proper preparation. And you can see there was a plethora of likes and, a whole bunch of comments and stuff like that. And so, me as a trained firearms instructor and veteran of the military, veteran of, law enforcement and stuff like that, there were some things that, operationally, in terms of actually being prepared, I got to look at. And in looking at this picture, some things were definitely of note. So yes, is it amazing? Absolutely amazing that, black people are finally starting to, in a large number, actually take the Second Amendment seriously. Is that amazing? Absolutely amazing. I mean, as a firearms instructor, I've been teaching for, well over a decade and a half. I've been using firearms, and trained in it since I was 14 years old. So I'm 39. So I've got, a wealth of experience in using firearms. I absolutely love it. And I was fortunate enough to be trained in the right ways of using, firearms and rifles. However, I feel that in this desire to want to maintain a level of security for our community, and in maintaining this stance that if there's going to be this talk of this dumb shit called a race war, a civil war, whatever that stupid shit is, that talk is, you get certain people like or better than me that will say we are not ready. I'm going to say that. And the one thing that I am against, in essence, is the optics that fans the flames for something we are not ready for. I will say it again. The optics that fan the flames for something that we are not ready for. And you get people that see pictures like this and they're like, yeah, Black Kings, stand up. We're ready. And then you see somebody like me who's operationally trained and they're like, not what the fuck I see right there. No, we're not. Because if you look at the young man right here, he has his finger not even indexed, not even close to the trigger. And I don't care what kind of stance you're in, how ready you are. If your finger's not on the trigger or not clear to it, you're not even ready to even press the trigger if necessary. And that's the one thing that you learn in firearms training is that, you learn to index your finger and keep it ready, when you need to use it. And so if you're gripping that pistol or gripping that rifle or what could be a pistol because of the brace, right there, that you're not even ready. Secondly, this is the mindset of our generation. And I hate to say it, but you elders, bow your freaking heads in shame because here we go. You stopped. You stopped trying because you got comfortable with the shit that you were getting. And because you stopped trying, right? We don't train our generation the right way. What the fuck are you doing with earbuds on attached to an iPhone underneath your earmuffs? You need to be able to hear your environment. And so shit like that, for optics, when you have people that are not trained to do things the right way, that just grinds my fucking gears, And so I just don't like that. Let's go ahead and take a break. And we're going to, shots fired. That's it. We're going to take a break. It's 11:19. Today's the 27th of October, Tuesday. It's 80 degrees outside, even though if that's fucking wrong. That shit is shitty outside. We'll be right back with more Triggered with Instructor Mike.
WIFTBPN.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTBPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Triggered.
You want to crown him? Then crown her ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
All right, we're back. We're back with Instructor Mike with Triggered. Don't forget to send those stars that help to support great content like this station. Even if you don't like the controversial stuff that I am saying, you should probably still send those stars, because that's what helps keep this programming up. Because whether I'm here or someplace else, that doesn't hide the truth. That doesn't hide the truth. The truth is going to still be what it is. So you're here to get trained, so let's get trained. My job isn't to say the things you like. My job is to say the things that it is. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So again, with this picture, again, I love the fact that they are holding rifles. I have served alongside a great degree of great Americans who have decided to, stand up and defend this country, whether you like it or not, whether you hate it or not, whatever the case may be. They have just decided to stand alongside each other and protect each other, forward, behind, left, and right, stuff like that. I love it. And just to see this, it is absolutely amazing. But I cannot stand the errors that I see in this picture. If the goal was to show that this is, them taking some kind of stance, and yes, it could have been some kind of dry fire techniques and things like that. But when you have certain things that are in the picture that shows that this is, you said they've been coming out lately. I want to know what, not what I want to know, but I wonder where and wonder why, but when you look at this picture right here, you begin to look at, okay, what's missing from here? One, they don't have any eyewear, eye protection. Now, I get some people will say in a real shooting, who has eye protection? Guess what? Real combatants have those things. Who has ear protection? Guess what? Real combatants have those things. Then you look at the optics of these two wearing ears, but then the gentleman in the back, he's not wearing any ears at all, any ear protection at all. I look at that and I'm like, okay, well, something is missing from this. This clearly couldn't be a live fire exercise, because they're not wearing any kind of ear protection at all. And so you have to understand that in the gun community, those who are really trained, stress trained, and those who are actual veterans, we look at details. We look at details to determine authenticity. Okay, we look at details. There's times that I put videos out there. And when I put videos out there, that I've gotten criticized. There are videos that have gone viral. You got some people going to like them, some people going to hate them. That's the reality of what it is. Some people who hate guns, they automatically attack it. Some people who like it, they see it. And then you're never going to please everyone. But the goal is to at least understand how to use the tool that you are using. Then you look at the fact that they don't have any magazines in there, but the dust cover is open. Some of you are like, well, what's a dust cover? The dust cover is a little cover that's covering the ejection port where the bolt is clearly forward in this parent AR-15 pistol and or rifle. You look at certain things technically, they could have been going through some kind of, tool handling or rifle handling drills or pistol handling drills. Then you look at the optic on here. You got a red dot optic with a magnifier of sorts. Given the platform of the rifle that you're using, is it something you should even use? Is it something that's even necessary for the drill, that you're trying to, perform? Also, there are different levels of ear protection that you can use. One of the things that you want to think about operationally is, there's a reason why when you see SWAT operators or you see Navy SEALs or Delta operators, whatever the case may be, and they wear ears, those ears are electronic so that they are able to adjust and still be able to hear the environment around them. And so that's what I'm talking about when you look at this young man clearly with these iPhone or Android, whatever kind of earbuds, in that what signal does that send to someone who is untrained that if New Era Chicago puts it up there, then it must be okay. It must be approved. No, that is not approved at all. Your earmuffs, if they're not electronic, they already rob you of the sensation of a great degree of your hearing so that it can protect you from the loud sounds of the rifle. But you don't need to add to that more things that get in the way of your ability to be able to hear your environment, hear commands from your teammates. You see these two people right next to each other. What if the person on the left or the person on his right wanted to, call a command bounding or, moving or changing, whatever command they want to call between whatever system they have going on so they can understand each other. You can't even hear because you're fucking playing Chance the Rapper or some other shit in your ears and you're not even hearing the commands. And so I attacked that picture, not attacked these young men. I attacked that picture because I am sick and tired of people with an agenda training our people wrong. I am sick and tired of it. I'm tired of it. Look, I hope someone from New Era Chicago is watching. I love what they do. They got the great breakfast programs and stuff like that. They even got the Streets Are Watching. But then I got one person, I'm not going to say his name, but one person who advertises, hey, the Streets Are Watching. Come on out, such and such date, such and such time. We're going to be in this area. You just fucking told the bad guys where you're going to be. You're not going to catch shit. We got too much crime in our community for you to be fucking around and giving the appearance as though you're doing something without actually doing something. You see what I'm saying? Just like the food program. What if you sit there and said, hey, come here is food. And then they get there, there's no fucking food. You want to make sure that you're able to materialize the thing that you're saying that you're going to do. So if the Streets Are Watching and we got too much crime, what the fuck are you doing telling them where you're going to patrol? They're not going to do shit where you are. You're not moving me or anyone who will be honored to join your cause, right? And in fact, die for that thing until you show that you have confronted someone and have changed and have done something differently than the status quo. You're not fucking impressing me by going and walking the streets. We got plenty of people who walk the streets, who walk by all the time when shit's really going on. You got a domestic situation going on between a man and a woman. No one stops it, but they see it and they record it. You are not fucking impressing me. You're not impressing me when you shut down businesses that disrespect our people, but we don't stop the crime that makes the disrespect possible. You're not fucking impressing me or people better than me when you're sitting here and using our young black kings as optics for fucking likes when you're not teaching them the right way. You're especially in the light of this whole, well, if Donald Trump wins, or Donald Trump loses, it's gonna be some issues. We are not fucking ready. And I've said that before and I'm gonna say it again. And as long as I keep on seeing pictures like this and fucking embarrassments like this, I'm gonna keep on saying it. We are not ready. It ain't sitting. You fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. People ain't afraid of niggas with guns, and I don't even use that word. They are not afraid of niggas with guns. Do you understand that? Anybody in any real combat training will tell you, we only did rifle shit maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks out of the whole program. Out of the whole boot camp, out of the whole basic training, out of the whole wherever you went when you were in the service. Rifle training is just a small part of what makes a combat ready soldier. And then after you graduate out of the doggone boot camp, after you graduate, you still got more training to do. When you get to your unit, you still got more training to do. You go to the field, you go to MCX, you go to FTX, you go to, those of y'all know what I'm talking about, you go to Graf, you go to Hornsfells, you go to Fort Polk, Louisiana. You go to so many different places. You go to 29 Palms. Even in Buds, Coronado, California. Then you got to go to other places to get your training, your SEER training, your airborne training, your whatever your specialty is, corpsman training. You got so much that goes into actually making someone who's combat ready, that it's not just going to a gun store, picking up a rifle, getting a set of rounds, then shooting at a piece of paper and saying, #motherfucker, I'm ready. Stop it with the bullshit. Stop it with the bullshit. You are not ready. We also have to be in shape. Now, I get it, Paul Stein, not afraid of rednecks with guns either. Most cut in the barn with an M7. I don't get it. Paul, I'm sorry, I don't get your comment. You don't have to be afraid of rednecks with guns, but as a person who's shot with rednecks, I'm telling you, if anything happens war-wise, they are not going to put boots on the ground and stare you in your eye. You're not going to even see the bullet that is aimed at you. You're not going to see it. And when it hits you, those around you will see you fall. You won't even know it. They know how to hunt for real. We still trying to talk about food fucking deserts. I'm telling you, stop with the bullshit optics. Let's learn how to protect our families from the shit that's around us. But stop with the bullshit optics, because if they put boots on the ground, your ass ain't even ready. You can't even get past the damn entrance test to get into the fucking military. Stop with the bullshit antics. Gun usage is our right. Self-protection is our right. And realism is our right too. Stop with the bullshit antics, because unless you're ready to see your lonely ass grandmother that you don't go and visit, unless you're ready to see her get shot as collateral damage, unless you're ready to see your kids get shot as collateral damage, because I'm telling you, war is fucking hell. And we'll be right back with Triggered.
WIIFTVPN.
Triggered with Instructor Mike on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Why? Why? Because someone told a great guy no.
No! God, please, no! No!
And he told that no, and he said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that no into next opportunity. That's the latest book I just released, What I Tell Myself About No, because children who do not understand the power of rejection and the propulsion that occurs inside it becomes adults who can't take rejection, and your next opportunity could be right around the corner if you just understand how to use that no. And that's why we exist at What's in It for the Black People Media Network, because someone took a no and said, I'm gonna create next opportunity. You're not silencing the voice, because that's what's in it for the black people, is the truth. Not always that you want to hear. It's the shit that needs to be said, because our ancestors fought and died to give us the right of access. And who the fuck are you to tell me no? Only on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Hard work. We're on the go. Hard work.
We fun guy.
What's tomorrow?
Fun guy, what's up, baby?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, yo, what do you know?
You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh, my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIIFTVPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown him? Then crown her ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
Yep, we are back. I'm looking at some of y'all comments. I never heard him say so many curse words. Well, that's what happens on Triggered. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. There we go. Let's put that's a South Park reference. You get it. Look, you're watching Trigger with Instructor Mike. I'm your host, Instructor Mike. Don't forget, if you're watching by YouTube, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're watching by Facebook, go on ahead and like the Maze Jackson page. Triggered is aired every Tuesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And here we say the stuff. It's a variety show. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get out of me. It just depends on what I want to talk about. Let's go on ahead and continue. Those of you all watching on Facebook, go on ahead and comment. Here we go. Alvin, well, you know how some of us like to look rich, look hard, now looking like you're prepared for war. Hey, you know, it is what it is, Alvin. I just want to sit here and say this. Look, that doesn't mean you have to broadcast everything you do. And I get it that maybe it could be a tactic that you advertise you're not prepared when in fact you are. That does no one any good except who you think it does good. You think it does you good. It really doesn't, because I'm going to tell you, I see I'm in tune with a lot of other professional trainers. Everyone that you're fine, Carrie. Everyone that trains, I don't align myself with. I don't, because you got some certificate instructors that decided that they know how to use a gun, and so they may not understand the dynamics of both the good and the bad side that comes with training, and so they just get a certificate that authorizes them to be able to teach, and then they teach it and they teach it wrong. Then when you try to sit there and give them some friendly counseling and advice or whatever the case may be, they get offended because they think it's just the training industry can be competitive. But I align myself with people who typically belong to or have the same mind of the association that I belong to, the International Law Enforcement Educators and Trainers Association. Imagine a group of a great degree of law enforcement trainers from around the world. There are no big I's, no little U's. We all know what we know, and we come together and train each other because iron sharpens iron. There are no egos. You can be corrected. You can be corrected. You know that, well, there's an area I need to grow. And as a professional instructor, you remain a avid student of learning how to teach newer ways of doing things. I'm just saying, and I'm going to read your comment here, Mike. I'm just saying, stop thinking that you're prepared for something that you're not prepared for. You got people who hate the name Donald Trump, but won't even learn anything from his playbook. You got people who you don't even talk to your neighbor because you got beef with him or her, and you can learn stuff from that person. The mindset of of acquiring the information that gets you to be better than you are. Some people won't even get that. I have white friends who hunt. I have white friends who I was in the military with and I served with in law enforcement, and having been places, and I'm telling you, you're not ready for that. So stop gassing people up with optic pictures. And you look at this picture. I'm going to put this picture back up there. This shit just pissed me off. You look at this picture of all these inaccuracies that's occurring in this. I mean, we're not even talking about the stance. The stance is just hilarious in and of itself. But you look at the optics of what's here, and you look at how many likes that picture got. Most of whom, and I went through the likes too, most of whom are black. So now you're gassing people up to make them think that this is the shit that is okay in terms of the earbuds, in terms of the performance of how you hold the gun, in terms of all that. I'm sorry, I just don't like that. You think about it, when you were a kid and you were playing cops and robbers or maybe hoods and hoodettes, whatever the fuck you was playing, and next thing you know, you were simulating the recoil of a gun to show the visual indicator that you were shooting so that the person can react to that. Now what happens as an adult? You get the real gun in your hand, and then you start to simulate the recoil in your wrist. When you don't have to, the gun already does that. You have to have the mindset to be able to understand, to break away from this habit and keep the gun and keep your hand still and allow the gun to do its job. And so when we see things and we're not trained in the right way on how to do things, you tend to mirror that thing that you saw, thinking that it's right. That's what professional trainers know. Right? Not just some certificate bunny that went and got a certificate, and because I can make some money off of juicing you and making you think that I'm something that I'm not that I'm talking about professional trainers. So yes, it grinded my gears. You know how many hearts and likes my comment got? New Era Chicago didn't like that. And so they began to attack, and they began to say things. Look, I've been called Coon, Uncle Tom, Sambo, so many other names. No one wants to sit in the same room as me and learn from me. People like what they hear. They don't like to learn from what they've heard. And because you have that mindset, because you don't understand and appreciate violence and its necessary place in the winning of a war, because you don't understand the art of war and how to win it before it's begun, because you don't understand those things, those simplistic concepts. We ain't even talking about a supply area. We ain't even talking about the acquisition of more ammunition. We're not even talking about other things that you need to know. Medic skills. How many black folks actually know CPR? Come on now. If a person gets shot, how many of you all know how to clot a gunshot wound? How many of you know how not to freak the fuck out when your partner has his head fucking blown off, but then they're still shooting? Just the things of war that you're not even ready for. But you think you got, because you a nigga with a gun, and I hate using that word, but that was a term that was expressed in one of these postings, because you think you that, and you went to a gun store, and you got you this long rifle. You don't even understand how to use it. You think you're ready. You think you're ready. No. No fucking no. If you understood what war really took, you would appreciate what the fuck I'm saying. That doesn't mean we're weak. That does not mean we're weak. But do you understand, in strength also comes the ability to be able to properly assess one's readiness for the endeavors that they seek to get in and say, hey, maybe some other time, not right now. You need to be strong enough to understand that. Who's going to be the general? I'm hearing talks of reparations, and I pay attention to everything, and I analyze everything as much as I can. I'm hearing talks of reparations and people talking about who's going to disperse the funds. Who the fuck made you the general? You see what I'm saying? You can't even come to one common agreement over who's going to disperse this, over who's going to take care of that, who's going to stop the crime in our community. We can't stop the crime in our community enough to even have a team. You know, you need people, right? And if we're still killing each other and not helping each other out and dealing with the issues within our four walls, within homes, how are you going to have a team? How are you going to have a cohesive unit? You're not going to have that. And so because you think you a person with a gun, you think you're ready, only for you to get killed by a bullet you didn't see. Mike Smith says, Mike, look at the way he's holding the rifle, shoulder up too high, hand leaning to the side. What is he wanting to shoot? This isn't potty training and pissing on Fruit Loops. Exactly. And I got some of my followers on my page coming on here because every time I go on here, I share, you know. And one of the reasons why these numbers ain't up, hey, shouts out to the other shows, but one of the reasons why these numbers ain't up, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, y'all want to call white folks racist, and don't get me wrong, there are some that are. But a great percentage of the people that follow me are not what you think. But they just don't want to be labeled as that shit. So they don't come on here. But here I got something that's in here. And they trying to drop knowledge to your ass. You need to suppress your emotions and look at what they're saying. And that's part of the problem. Some people can't suppress their emotions and they get triggered by the truth that a person is telling you. If a white person tells you you ain't ready, it's racist. If a black person tells you you ain't ready, he's a Sambo. So fuck it, die. Because you know what? In death, there is life. In your death, someone will sit there and see, oh shit, maybe we should have ... Tragedy always brings change. And so if you gotta die so someone else can stay alive, well, by God, go on ahead and do it. Because it's always one fool in the pack who think he know everything. And that's when we can't chapter him out. We can't ostracize him. So we let hey, come on. You ready to go? Let's go. Oh shit. Go on ahead and snatch it up. Send it to his family. Air assault. Let's go. It's always one fool in the pack. So if you want to be that fool in the pack and you don't want to listen and can't no one sit there and tell your ass that you are not ready, fuck it. Let somebody else learn from your death. Here we go. I agree. People talk too much about what they are doing and reveal their hand. America has a bad habit of doing this too. Yes and no. Yes and no. It kind of goes both ways. No, I'm saying, Rashad, you're right. Hey, fuck it, die. I'm serious. Look, Thomas Jefferson, I think it's Thomas Jefferson that said that. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patrons and tyrants. Yes, patriots lose their lives too, and so too do tyrants. And the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with that blood. See, y'all not ready for that type of talk. Let a person start talking all kinds of violence, and what does Facebook do? Ban it. Let a person start talking about that stuff, and what do? We ban it. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to ban and block the shit that you think you want coming. Well, they're not going to come to the hood. They ain't ready to come to the hood because we come to the hood. We got the foes. We got the moes. We got the them, and we got that ready. There's a lagoon close to where I live. How many of you people know how to swim? Oh, hell no. Foster Park is just down the street, but we don't go swimming. Fuck that. We not ready for the water. Do you know how many people who love the water will sit there and lie in wait and have a pod camera set up somewhere and wait till they see a lonely black person walking down the street, pop up, pop, shoot that person, disappear into the lagoon, and the police will never be able to see where that bullet came from or who was the shooter. You sure you ready for that shit? You have a hard time trying to color coordinate between your Jordans and your fucking tight ass pants. They don't care about that shit. They'll wear camouflage and hide in a tree and pop your ass, and you won't even know where the shit's coming from. I'm telling you, the shit you think you're ready for, you're not ready for that. You're not ready for that. There will be more bloodshed on our end coming from places we don't even know. You will walk inside your place and it could be a tripwire. Next thing you know, your whole building get leveled. You ain't ready for that shit. So stop asking for it. Stop letting stop letting an idiot with an emotional agenda and no area of realism in their mind gas you up for some shit you ain't ready for. You're not ready for that shit. Get you a firearm, get in some concealed carry training, get some more training beyond the 16-hour course. Learn how to protect us in our communities first. But don't let somebody gas you up and get celebratory on some shit. Then you take your ass to a class and you get a doggone rifle, and next thing you know, you get killed with your own shit, and now you just fueling their defense, whatever that means. We'll be right back.
WIFTVPN.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
WIFTVPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown them? Then crown their ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown. Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
All right, we're back with Instructor Mike on Triggered, What's in It for the Black People Radio Network or Media Network. I'm going to go ahead and again read some of these comments from Facebook. David Shields says, when you know you're the dominant or the alpha, you don't need to show people. This is pussy propaganda from them. I agree. And the thing is, if you really want to understand, about being the dominant, alpha, whatever the case may be, I'm just telling you, when you're in training circles, you know the pages to go to, and then you'll see those who are actually reaching out and getting training, reaching out and getting advanced training. And I'm telling you, I've been teaching concealed carry since about 2014. I've been teaching firearms since about 2008. I've been dealing with firearms since I'm 14, and I still remain a student. I'll tell you that my training is just enough to, in essence, give you a taste of what it's like. But if you just get that alone, it's just enough to get you killed. How many of you firearms instructors who are actually watching this make that statement? Do you understand how bad that could make you look, but how honest it is? My training alone is just enough to get you killed. If that's all you have, I tell people that my training is like getting a solid foundation on this house that you still need to build. You need to get more training, and not just from me, from other people like or better than me. Don't go worse. Like or better than me. You have so much you need to learn. If my class is the only class you've ever taken, die. I'm not sugarcoating shit. If my class is the only class you've ever taken, die. That's it. It's just enough to get you killed. A 16-hour concealed carry class is not enough, but the right 16-hour concealed carry class or the right kind of firearms training will begin to give you a solid real-world foundation. And the very first lesson that I teach you in class is to suppress your emotions. You gotta check your feelings at the door. Fuck your feelings. If you are the type of person where you can't take them or you can't take constructive criticism, if you're the type of person where I get on your ass. Hey, Marcus, I know you watching. He's another firearms instructor. Shouts out to Marcus Darby and Black Matrix Firearms Instruction. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, by God. Do you see this? Do you see this? Yet, Marcus may not want to comment. I don't know, because I'm telling you, and I'm not saying anything about Marcus. Marcus is cool, but, you know, you get some firearms instructors, they won't say shit. Like, they'll see this and well, I don't want to say anything because, you know, I make my money from black people. You know, and I want to have black people continuously come to me and get training. So I'm not going to say it because it's going to piss them off. And then they're going to go somewhere. And then that's just going to cause me to not make. Man, fuck that money, bro. I'm telling you, if you really, how do you say Black Lives Matter or any lives matter, whatever the fuck, whether you agree with it or not, give a shit. You know, how do you sit there and say that and not care about the truthfulness of how something like this looks? Look, it is empowering, yes, to see them with guns, but they are fucking up. They are fucking up. And I'm sorry, I'm not about to lend my standing as a professional, not a fucking certificate instructor, but as a professional instructor, I'm not lending that because I care about your money or a fucking 5-star rating. Fuck them both. Now, you ain't taking my class for free. You still got to pay. But fuck them both. I'm going to sit there and tell you this is not where it's at. They're close, but no cigar. You got way more to learn. Fuck the optics. Let's get to the training. And if you're going to show a picture, show it done right. Show it done right. Show it done right. Because I'm telling you, you all know the saying, for everything another person of another race does, a black person has to do it 10 times better, 10 times harder, 10 times faster. And that's a reality. So if you're going to do it right. Do it right. Do it right. Do it right. You gotta do it right. It's not just a class. You have to. Big fact, some people do it to keep the lights and gas on. A real instructor will have experience, not just a class. Do it right. Do it right. Some people need to walk and chew gum. Being critical doesn't mean you're being discouraging. Thank you, L. Sherry Chapman. You are absolutely correct. But the thing is, people are so close to their emotions. General Colin Powell said it in his 13 rules. Avoid having your ego so closely connected to a position that when your position falls, your ego falls with it. Your ego falls with it. Stop. I am going to criticize. I don't give a shit whether you like it or not. You put that shit out there on social media, and so you open it up to the world. Half the time, I don't even go looking for the shit. People put it in my inbox. Mike, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I have so many followers. I got 400,000 on TikTok. I got close to so many subscribers on YouTube, so many subscribers and followers on my Facebook pages and stuff. I get stuff from all over the world. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? The bottom line is this: don't put the goofy shit out there if you don't want somebody getting on your ass about what this thing is. Okay? We have a duty and a responsibility. And given that instructors know, and if you're a professional instructor, you know how black folks come upon guns. You know it's not ingrained in our culture. You know that. You're either a victim of it, and then you decide not to be a victim of it because you've survived a given situation, or you got somebody in your family that messed with it and you somehow learned as a byproduct to that. And then there are some folks who are affected by tragedy, and that makes them get guns where it's ingrained in white culture. You got some people that'll sit there and say, oh, you just started? Shit, I've been hunting since I was 5. I've been doing this since I was 9. I've been shooting from airsoft to water guns to this to that. We live in a farmland where we hunt and shoot and fish and do that. In the urban community, we don't do that. If you go fishing, it's a doggone Absolutely. I'll read your comment, Patan, in a minute. If we do that, it's a magical trip with Dad. We're going fishing. That's an everyday occurrence for some people. You need to understand that. And Killer Mike even said that too. Do we hunt? Do we fish? Do we hunt off the land? If it was going to be a civil war, who you think owns the gas lines? Who you think owns the electricity? Who do you think owns, hell, even the data that you need for your doggone phones? Who do you think owns Verizon? Oh, you got that government phone. That shit shut down. That Obama phone ain't gonna do nothing for your ass. So who you think owns any of the stuff? How do you have communication? Better yet, look at your smartphones. Can you recite someone's number right now without having to go to the damn contact? If you can't even do that shit, sit your ass down and get you a top 5 set of numbers that you know off the top of your head. How many of y'all know CPR? Quick, real quick. Here we go in the comment section. How many compressions? How many breaths? Where do you put your hand? What's the depth of compression? Do you know how to do that? There are things that we need to learn in our community so we can save ourselves. And if you don't know how to save your own ass, sit the fuck down. You are not ready for shit. Got the coronavirus warning, and half of y'all killed the damn Family Dollars buying up all the toilet paper like somebody said it was a shit illness instead of a respiratory problem. But you ready for fucking war? No. Stop using our people as optics. Politicians already do it. It's worse when someone who's supposed to be for the people does it too. You're no better. You're worse. I'm going to read some of the comments, and we're going to go from that. Next, we're going to talk about the unrest in Philadelphia, about the shooting that just occurred, and the unrest that's occurring in Philadelphia right now. I'm going to go on ahead and Desmond Hutchins, Marcus Darby is going to push you to get more training and go to the range and practice. Absolutely. I saw Marcus at the range too. We at the range all the time. Patah, when the electric grid is cut off and these cell phones are useless, people are going to lose their damn minds, those who depend on these devices. When it comes to learning, I ain't got it. I ain't got to like you. Absolutely. Tiger shit illness. I'm reading some of your comments. I'm better with a crossbow than with most rifles. So don't feel intimidated. Practice, practice, practice. I appreciate that. That is very important. I love to see and hear about what you got. Not necessarily what, but your mindset on readiness. You gotta stay ready. Gotta stay ready. Got to stay ready. You got to. Here we go. For those of y'all looking for concealed carry, you got 2 instructors here. You got myself and you got Marcus Darby. You got Black Matrix Firearms Instruction and Security Training Concepts. I got a class this weekend. I got a class Thursday and Friday. Marcus, if you want to give me your classes, I'll go on ahead and push that out there too. You know, you need to go on ahead and make sure that you get your ass in somebody's class. Not for this civil war that you think is about to occur, because you ain't ready for that shit. Because I'm telling you, white folks are too busy worried about shit in their community. They ain't trying to sit here and worry about your ass. They don't even know your name. So stop manufacturing shit that ain't real. You got your own cousins who live on the same block as your ass and you don't even talk to them. That's where you need to start. That's where you need to start. Okay. Damian Robinson. I fear that Black Americans have had it bad showing their hands. We will buy a race car and not know how to drive it, yet alone use a gun. Sherry, you had another comment on here that I loved. I just didn't get a chance to read it. I'm about to read it now. I was humbled when I went to a competitive shooting event. The sheer energy and expertise of everyone in attendance let me know my little visits to the range and playing in-person Call of Duty in Nevada was tantamount to little kids playing in the sandbox. So much to learn. Hashtag that is correct. You know, Rod Buddha, what's going on? Shouts out to the National African American Gun Owners Association. I don't necessarily like the acronym NAGA. That's just too close to the N-word we don't want people to say, but whatever, as long as it works. Shouts out to them. They're promoting the advocacy of the Second Amendment. Too many black people, or too many if black people are emotional, or too many of black people are emotional. If you don't follow the sheepish mass, then here comes the name calling. Yeah, that definitely happens. And Rashad, I love your new slogan, fuck it, die then. I'm serious. I'm going to go on ahead and say it. If you don't like the way that I train, if you don't like the way that I'm delivering you the truth, fuck it, die then. That's what I'm saying. I don't give a shit. Well, why would you wish death on someone? Because someone's going to have to learn from your ignorance. And it happens all the time. We needed a Department of Homeland Security. What did it take? A manufactured situation, if you're of that opinion, 9/11, for someone to die for us to get what we should have had. Make no mistake about it. Americans, we are arrogant. Oh, we so arrogant. Didn't think it could happen in Pearl Harbor. It happened. Didn't think it could happen someplace else. Ooh, it happened. Didn't think that we would be wiped out because you got black folks with guns. And now, oh shit. Don't let somebody gas your ass into a great degree of death that we don't need. And we'll be right back with more on Trigger with Instructor Mike.
WIIFTVPN.
Trigger with Instructor Mike on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Why? Why? Because someone told a great guy no.
No! God, please, no! No!
And he told that no, and he said, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and turn that no into next opportunity. That's the latest book I just released, What I Tell Myself About No, because children who do not understand the power of rejection and the propulsion that occurs inside it becomes adults who can't take rejection. And your next opportunity could be right around the corner if you just understand how to use that no. And that's why we exist at What's in It for the Black People Media Network, because someone took a no and said, I'm going to create next opportunity. You're not silencing the voice, because that's what's in it for the black people, is the truth. Not always that you want to hear. It's the shit that needs to be said, because our ancestors fought and died to give us the right of access. And who the fuck are you to tell me no? Only on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Hard work, we're on the go. Hard work.
WIIFTVPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown him? Then crown her ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown. Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
Hey, what's going on? We are back with Instructor Mike and Triggered on What's in It for the Black People Media Network. It's 12 o'clock Tuesday, October 27th. If you are watching this on YouTube, go on ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're watching it on Facebook, like the Maze Jackson page, and send those stars. Those stars right there help to support shows like this and better than this, whatever your taste is. That's what's on What's in It for the Black People Media. It supports great content. Shouts out to Herb Howard and Tucson Warner with I Said What I Said, The Bigs, Mike Love and Diz, Chicago Famous, Chicago Radio Legends, The Book of Dawn. You know, there are a lot of different great shows on here. So let's go on ahead and switch gears. Let's travel with me from Chicago to Philadelphia, where there was another police shooting that was captured on video, this time involving a man with a knife. All right, I'm reading this from 6abc.com. Police shot and killed a man in West Philadelphia on a West Philadelphia street Monday afternoon after yelling at him to drop his knife. It happened around 3:50 p.m. when officers responded to a domestic call along the 6100 block of Locust Street. Sergeant Eric Grip, a spokesperson with the Philadelphia Police Department, says officers confronted a man with a knife at the scene. Grip said the man was shot multiple times by two officers after he didn't adhere to calls to drop the weapon. He was later pronounced dead. Neighbors identified the man as Walter Wallace, and from what I later learned, it's a Walter Wallace Sr. I believe this is Jr. I don't know which one it is. But video of the fatal confrontation recorded by a bystander and posted on social media shows officers pointing their guns at a man as he walked in the street and around a car. The man walks toward the officers as they backed away from him in the street, guns still aimed at him. "Put the knife down, put the knife down," one officer can be heard saying. Both then fired several shots at the man. I'm going to play the video shortly. Both then fired several shots at the man, and he collapsed in the street. A woman ran up to the victim and began screaming. The woman, we later learned, is his mom. Several bystanders then walk up to the man who was shot. It is unclear in the video if the man had a knife. Witnesses say he was holding one. At least a dozen evidence markers were found at the scene. Witnesses and neighbors want to know why less lethal force wasn't used. You could have pulled out a taser. You could have shot him in the leg. Okay, that statement grinds my gears. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, Rashad, you get it, but some people just don't understand. And we're going to go through some technical things in this statement, and then we're going to talk about maybe what, if anything, should be done. And I'll give you my analysis about that. By Monday night, a group of residents took to the streets protesting Wallace's death. Officers could also be seen setting up a perimeter around the 18th District Police Station. Cop cars and dumpsters were later set on fire as police struggled to contain the crowds. More than a dozen officers, many with batons in hand, formed a line as they ran down 52nd Street, chasing protesters away from the main thoroughfare. An action cam also captured video of broke windows and vandalized vehicles along 52nd and Pine Streets. The group is also believed to be responsible for broken windows at a number of buildings, including a police station and a Starbucks in University City. Police Commissioner Daniel Outlaw says the video raises questions, but she assured the community that a full investigation is underway. Quote, I have directed the officer-involved shooting investigation unit to begin its investigation. I recognize that the video of the incident raises many questions. Residents have my assurance that those questions will be fully addressed by the investigation. While at the scene this evening, I heard and felt the anger of the community. Everyone involved will be forever impacted. I will be leaning on what the investigation gleans to answer the many unanswered questions that exist. I also plan to join the mayor in meeting with members of the community and members of Mr. Wallace's family to hear their concerns as soon as it can be scheduled. The names of the officers who fired the shots were not immediately disclosed. Both were wearing body cameras and were taken off street duty pending the investigation. Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Number 5 President John McNesby expressed his support for the officers involved, saying, our police officers are being vilified this evening for doing their job and keeping the community safe. We support and defend these officers as they too are traumatized by being involved in a fatal shooting. We ask the public for its patience as investigators work to gather all the facts of this tragic incident in West Philadelphia today. A large crowd gathering. Let's see how long this is. This is long. But it's a lot. So, a large crowd gathered where the man was killed, with videos showing many yelling at the police officers and crying. Some people later spoke to Outlaw, who arrived at the scene a short time after the shooting occurred. My prayers are with the family and friends of Walter Wallace. I've watched the video of this tragic incident. It presents a difficult question that must be answered. I spoke with, okay, so this is just talking about the pending outpour that happened. Okay, so let's get to it. For fuck's sake, we don't shoot in the legs. I'm sorry, I just had to throw that out there. Let's start again. For fuck's sake, we don't shoot in the legs. Not even you as a citizen who has a gun, who is trying to defend yourself against someone trying to harm you. With the physiological and psychological stress that you are going to experience, because you probably have never experienced anything that close. Let's talk reality. The Pareto principle applies. Many of you who have owned guns have probably never had to use them toward people in the situations that you hear in the media. You're just carrying it because if it happens, you are at least prepared with the tool that may even or level the playing field. For fuck's sake, we don't shoot in the legs. People are taught that, but not people on the whole. They're not taught to shoot at the legs. Why? Most of the organs on the inside, the little things that keep the body going, are housed within the torso. It's the largest area of a great degree of mass that if all 6 areas, your head, your arms, your legs, your torso, 5 of these areas move rather fast. The largest part does not move. So to increase the possibility of hitting and decrease the liability of what could happen should you miss, that's why we aim for the torso. We don't fucking aim for the legs. So stop that dumb shit, but you're going to keep on going. Why not? Number 2. Okay, so this is a domestic call. Okay, this is not an on-view disturbance. In other words, police officer driving in the hood one day or driving whatever the case may be one day, and they just happened upon something that they see and took action. That was not this type of call. That type of call is called an on-view. We are on the scene and we viewed it, therefore we on-viewed it. Okay. This is a domestic call, meaning that something occurred within the four walls. You heard me talk about this earlier. Something occurred within the four walls of the structure, the apartment, a house, a business, some place, and in this case it was a house, where because of the inability, let's talk facts, because of the inability to, and I'm going to ask you that question, Marcus, warning shots. The inability to address the issue inside of the house. You called the police. Let's start there. If we had the ability to handle our own problems, why do you keep calling the police? Can someone answer that question for me? Now, Marcus Darby asked some questions. Would you do warning shots? If you got to pay for ammo, you're not trying to waste that shit. So we not doing not a nan warning shot. Okay, it's not going to happen. First of all, warning shots is considered reckless discharge of a firearm in the state of Illinois. That is a crime. You could be arrested for that. Why? Because while you're shooting, let's talk facts. You are hoping that the sound of that gunfire and the appearance of the fact that the gun works, you are hoping that this is the thing that will scare this person into compliance. Real motherfuckers who's about that life don't give a shit about a warning shot because, hey, they got guns that actually shoot. You see what I'm saying? So while you sitting here calling wolf tickets, trying to just press the trigger and hoping that they scared, people ain't always afraid of gunfire, especially if you really about that life or you decide in your mind that you really head set or dead set on killing this person. So no, warning shots, you can cancel Christmas on that. Okay. And I know he knows the answer, but thank you for putting those questions out there. What is furtive movement? Furtive movements are those movements that are rather suggestive. In other words, I'm moving around right now, right? Look at the camera. Okay. And I'm moving. Right? But what do you see me doing? It looks as though I'm typing, but you don't know what my hands are actually doing. I could be sitting here looking like I'm typing, and then I come up with a gun. So those furtive movements are suggestive movements that are indicative of future behavior. Not always a certainty, but when you're talking about your life being in the balance, mine versus his, certain suggestions are warranted. They are understandable. That's what furtive movements are. Okay. Here we go. Looking at some of your other comments, and then we're going to continue with this. No warning shot. You don't know where the bullet will go. You're absolutely correct, Chris. You don't know where the bullet will go because while you were depending on that shot to scare, you don't know where that bullet's going to go. And I'll give you a case in point. Remind me to get back to the Philadelphia things. I'm about to go off on a whole tangent. I had to talk to my producer here, okay? So, Marissa Alexander. How many of you all remember the case of Marissa Alexander out of Florida? This happened, I want to say, in around 2014, 15-ish, around the time of Trayvon Martin and the Stand Your Ground, right? So Marissa Alexander, look it up, and it's out of Florida. This was a Stand Your Ground. So Marissa Alexander is a true victim of domestic violence, and she was married. And what she did was he was beating her up, right? So she went and got an order of protection. Okay. When she went and got that order of protection, if you understand Florida's law, Florida has what's called in their use of force laws, they have certain provisions against identifying who you could use deadly force toward. And in the state of Florida, if a person has a right to be in that house, absolutely. Marquette McDonald, she shot the warning shot at her husband or boyfriend, absolutely. So in that, let's get to the in-depth explanation. If a person has a right to live in the house, by law, you cannot use deadly force toward that person. Doesn't mean you can't defend, but you can't use deadly force toward that person. Well, when she went and got the order of protection, as she should have, that terminated his right to be in the home during the duration of that order of protection. Okay. And so pursuant to that, he had to go stay someplace else. Well, what happened? What happens when people, sometimes, well, bae, I ain't mean to do this. And, I love you. And this was just a skirmish and stuff like that. And we are family. Well, what happens? Some women, or a great percentage of women, they get the order of protection, but they still fucking the guy that they got the order of protection against. Or they still messing with the guy. Or they still seeing the guy. They still talking to the guy. Surprisingly, you have more people that violate that order of protection than you think. Why? Because when I first got it, I got it on a position of emotion. And the domestic violence advocacy system isn't going to tell me what the fuck is wrong with me that causes me to keep loving, liking, or being with this person, because there could be an issue on the inside of me. Fuck that. We know you're going to fuck up, so we know we're going to have you come back. Let me just give you this placebo that makes you think it's going to work. So she went on ahead and let his ass in. And a leopard or a tiger or whatever does not change its spot. So fast forward to that particular day, he began to choke her up in the bathroom, okay, beat her up. Then he let her go. He walked out the bathroom. She was going to the garage to try to leave. Well, the garage would not open. The garage door had malfunctioned. So she has a Florida concealed carry, as do I, okay? So she had her firearm in her car. She grabbed that firearm, went right back inside of the house. He sits there and sees her with the firearm and says, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. So instead of taking that firearm and being positioned and tactically trained to know I don't have to shoot it unless I absolutely need to, what did she do? Pop, 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 fired those shots. Now, let's explain Florida's mandatory minimum when it comes down to gun brandishing and gun using. If in the commission, and this was the law at the time, it may have changed since then, but if in the commission of a crime you brandish a gun, that's a mandatory minimum, 10 years. If in the commission of that crime you shoot that gun, that's a mandatory 10 extra years, for a total of a mandatory minimum 20 years. Now, let's fast forward to the situation that occurred after she shot. Pop, pop, pop. What does he do? Oh my God, shit's real. Goes outside, calls the police. Shouts out to Charles Young. What's up? Another great instructor on this Charles Young. Go ahead and visit him at Platforms Training Academy. Charles Young, what's going on? He sits there and pop, pop, pop. And reverse it. He calls the police. She gets arrested. This situation is blasted all over the media because, of course, this is at the same time that George Zimmerman got arrested for, shooting Trayvon Martin in the same state, in the same county, with the same state's attorney, Angela Corey, and this is during Stand Your Ground. Well, here you got a black woman who's a victim of domestic violence. They didn't get to the particulars of the case. A victim of domestic violence. Well, why can't she use Stand Your Ground? She can't use Stand Your Ground because she let his ass back in. There's no evidence whatsoever that he forced his way into the house where she was staying. So she let him back in. Domestic orders of protection are a little bit funny. They're a little bit funny when they see that you kind of let him back in and it's a civil order of protection. It's not really a criminal one. So you kind of let him back in. That kind of reactivates his right to be inside of the home. Okay, and so we're going to continue after we take this break with what happened during the trial and where is Marissa now. We're going to lead back to this unrest in Philadelphia. We'll be right back with Trigger with Instructor Mike.
WIFTVPN.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday. Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
WIIFTV-PM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown him? Then crown her ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown. Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
All right, we're back with Instructor Mike on Triggered on What's in It for the Black People Media Network. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're watching on Facebook, like the Maze Jackson page and send those stars. Shouts out again to Charles Young, who sent those stars. Another great concealed carry instructor on here. I'm glad when I have instructors that come on in here and we can talk about stuff. That's amazing. And we're going to bring them in onto the show, too, so you'll be hearing more from those guys, too. But let's keep going. Now, Marcus Darby asked a question about disparity of force and does it play a role in that? In certain respects, it does. In certain respects, it does not. Now, disparity of force is talking about the anomalies from situation to situation. In other words, big person, tall person, heavy person, small person, things like that. Those are in terms of the force that could be used. As a smaller person who's more frail, are they stronger than the person who is big? And can certain circumstances lend itself to the acceptance of certain kinds of force towards someone where if it were like persons, in other words, two small, frail persons, could that be considered a disparity, or is that, where in essence we're of equal ability, if you will? So that's disparity of force. Yes and no. In this situation, looking at the case, State's Attorney Angela Corries, knew about her whole history and stuff like that, and pretty much gave her a gift. Remember, I told you it was a mandatory minimum 20 years because regardless of the situation, she shot a warning shot. But that bullet could have went through, and in fact, it did go through a few walls and could have injured someone she would have never known would have been in that area. And so that's reckless. Okay. And so what happened was they said, if you go on ahead and just plead to this, we'll go on ahead and give you 3 years. Well, what happens when you're under the influence of that ego and people gas you up to make you think that what you did was really right when in fact it was not? She said, fuck that. Maybe not in those words, but that's the, or no, I'm going to go on ahead and take it to trial. Well, there's this thing called a trial tax, and she took it to trial and lost, okay? So she got the mandatory minimum of 20 years. Now, where are we now? Of course, this case gets appealed. The case got appealed, and it got reversed and remanded. What happens is the conviction got reversed and remanded or sent back to the lower courts for a new trial. Why? Because the state's attorney erred in his instructions or in his closing arguments to the jury, stating that the defendant has the burden of proof. Using those terms, the burden of proof of proving whether or not she did it. And so in that, no defendant or person facing trial has the burden of proof of proving guilt or innocence. They may, in the pretrial motions phase, state that I stood my ground. I did this because XYZ. And in pretrial motions, especially in Florida, the stand your ground hearing is a hearing that happens in pretrial motions before it ever gets to trial, because if stand your ground is asserted and it is allowed, the case dies before it ever gets to trial. She tried stand your ground. She wasn't allowed to use stand your ground because at that time, if she had the gun in the bathroom as he was actively choking her and she used her pistol, pop, 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 stand your ground, check that box, you're good. Never, you might be charged, but you won't be convicted, or you're less likely to be convicted. But in that given situation, once there is distance separated, you didn't have to discharge that pistol. Granted, you have no duty to retreat, but just because you have no duty to retreat doesn't mean you shouldn't exercise wisdom in retreating. And it definitely doesn't mean you should fire a warning shot not knowing where this bullet. Remember, the laws of physics takes place. You cannot guarantee this bullet won't go through the ground or go through the wall and hit somebody else. You cannot guarantee that this bullet won't damage something else. And if anything, the direction that you're pointing that gun at is not the thing and or person who threatened you. Had you pointed the gun at him and maybe discharged the pistol, it might be seen just a tad bit differently. a tad bit differently, but that is not what she did. She shot that warning shot. She rolled the dice and she lost. Now, what happened was she was serving time, obviously, during the appeal. And because of the, change in the laws and things like that, they had decided not to retry her, but consider her time served and then just let her go, in essence. So, people like, oh my God, justice was done. Justice. Justice wasn't done my ass, because she still has a conviction for that thing. It wasn't an assertion that she was right in what she did. They just decided not to give her the full time, and they decided to, in essence, honor a portion of the original plea agreement, that if she had pled guilty, this is the time she would have served. So the time she served was the time she served, and that's that. Since then, the law has been changed, but warning shots are always reckless, and so not recommended at all. You don't pull that gun out unless you have the intention to use that gun, and you better be able to articulate that, because brandishing that gun is considered aggravated assault. I know that firsthand. It's considered aggravated assault. And you need to be able to articulate or state the circumstances that caused you to be able to do that. These things and more you will learn when you go to a concealed carry class, either with me, Instructor Charles Young, or even Black Matrix Firearms with Marcus Darby, okay? So let's continue with the unrest in Philadelphia. So here we go. What did you just learn? We're not shooting anybody in the fucking knee or in the leg, so you can cancel Christmas on that. If you ever sit there in my class talking about you're going to shoot somebody in the knee, we're going to put you on trial and show you why that's not going to happen in front of everybody. It's funny. I ain't going to embarrass you, but you'll learn for sure. Okay. Next, we look at, again, the inability of the parties within those four walls to be able to take care of that domestic. Now the police get called to the scene. Right? So when police come to the scene, what, if anything, do they do? What duties do they have? I'm speaking on it right now. Okay, Raymond. What duties do they have? I want you to understand that in the state of Illinois, and I'm sure this law exists in other states as well, but I want to focus on the state of Illinois because that's where the majority of you all are listening and watching stuff like that. This could easily happen in Chicago. Chapter 725, Illinois Compiled Statutes Act 5, Section 107-16. 107-16. This is a statute. When you're talking about Chapter 725, this is the Code of Criminal Procedure of 1963. Okay. And in this particular section, it's the arrest section, Section 105. Did I say, okay, I messed the name up. You get it, Marcus. Black Matrix Academy. I keep wanting to add firearms on it. Maybe he teaches CPR. I don't know, but shouts out to Marcus. Here we go. Section 107-16. It is the duty of every sheriff, coroner, and every marshal, policeman, or other officer of an incorporated city, town, or village having the power of a sheriff, when a criminal offense or breach of the peace is committed or attempted in his or her presence, forthwith to apprehend the offender and bring him or her before a judge to be dealt with according to the law, to suppress all riots and unlawful assemblies, and to keep the peace, and without delay serve and execute all warrants and other processes to him or her lawfully directed. Okay, and this was public according to Public Act 89-234, effective in 1996. That is the law that mandates when the police get there, they cannot retreat unless to get more backup, and they have to bring a peaceful resolution to that situation. Now, in peaceful resolution, sometimes that could be the use of force. Okay, and if we look at this given situation, we don't know the specifics of the domestic that occurred on the inside. We won't know that until the outcome of the investigation, but we do know what happened in that given situation at the end. So I'm going to go on ahead and play this video. And then after playing this video, it's going to be disturbing. So due to the graphic nature of what you're about to see, viewer discretion is advised. Okay. You learn that when you listen to cops. But viewer discretion is advised, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. No, it's not showing up. Oh my God, no. Okay, so I don't know what happened to the video, but again, I described what had taken place, and you see the officers. You can go on ahead and check it out on Facebook, stuff like that, and we'll go on ahead and go on a break, find out what happened to the video, and bring it back up. But you see that in this video, or you will see that in the video, the officers are backing up, and then as the person is approaching with a knife, they then shoot. They shoot. And we see in other situations where you see other people of other races where they don't shoot as fast. They may ask quickly or more, in essence. They may ask quickly or more, in essence, for, permission. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Right? No two police departments are the same. Okay? We're going to go ahead and go to break because I want you to see this video. We'll be right back with Instructor Mike.
WIIFTV-PM.
Trigger with Instructor Mike on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Why? Why? Because someone told a great guy no.
No! God, please, no! No!
And he told that no, and he said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that no into next opportunity. That's the latest book I just released, What I Tell Myself About No, because children who do not understand the power of rejection and the propulsion that occurs inside it becomes adults who can't take rejection, and your next opportunity could be right around the corner if you just understand how to use that no. And that's why we exist at What's in It for the Black People Media Network, because someone took a no and said, I'm gonna create next opportunity. You're not silencing the voice, because that's what's in it for the black people is the truth. Not always that you want to hear. It's the shit that needs to be said, because our ancestors fought and died to give us the right of access. And who the fuck are you to tell me no? Only on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Hard work, we're on the go.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIIFTV-PM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown him? Then crown their ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown. Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
Yeah, we are back. So we're back with Instructor Mike on Triggered, What's in It for the Black People Media Network. Again, if you're watching, if you're watching this on Facebook, go on ahead and like the Maze Jackson page. Send those stars. That helps again to support great content on this page, as well as if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. We're talking about the unrest in Philadelphia over the death of Walter Wallace. So they say that the officers confronted the man with the knife at the scene. He was shot multiple times by the officers who didn't adhere to the calls to drop the weapon, and he was later pronounced dead. In this given situation, we don't know the situation with the domestic and what led to the production of the knife, or if the knife was already at play when the officers arrived on scene. That would be something that for me, and probably even for the public, is interesting to know. And you don't really see that in the video, because the video, and you can go and watch it later, even on my page, Mike Brown, I post it to the, to my page as well. Or even on Instagram at Yes Mike Said It. I'll put it on TikTok again. Yes Mike Said It there too. But you can watch the video there. And we don't know what happened before those officers got on scene. And so the question then becomes, like you said, Raymond, you're hearing that it's a case of mental illness. I think that, yes, we should have persons who are more qualified to deal with persons who have mental issues. Okay. However, until that happens, what are some other solutions? So in Chicago, they're trying to run a pilot program where you have persons who are better trained to handle persons with mental issues respond to the different scenes to assist police in addressing things a little bit differently. And I do think that that is something that definitely needs to happen, because there is a different way to deal with people and de-escalate situations. There are times where your lack or your ignorance of the subject matter and what causes a person to, you said the video is frozen. Is the video frozen? I don't see it frozen. I see it still going. I'm watching. Oh, it did freeze. Oh, by God. We're going to still go because it's still recording. But, you know, there have been times. Yeah, it is frozen. Yeah. Okay. We're going to keep on going. Okay. All right. So there are times where in this given situation, we see that there's always a way to handle it differently. Always a way to handle it differently. And that's the one thing that I saw in my training as a crisis intervention instructor and as a certified, you know, anger management specialist. There's one thing that I see. You said my video turned to Ice Cube. Wow. That's the video turned to Ice Cube. Yeah, I am frozen. I am let it go. Let it go. Nope, that's stupid. All right. Let's see if it comes up on another video. Oh, we are not hating on new. Hey, LaToya Thomas. There we go. Yeah, she said they hear me. LaToya Thomas, I was wondering when you was going to pop your head up. No, we not hating on New Era at all. I told you, shouts out to the programs and stuff that y'all doing, but y'all wrong for that picture. Stop using black kings that's doing it wrong and stuff like that. Stop that. Y'all need to stop that. Y'all can use a better picture or get advice from someone who's actually training firearms in terms of how we should do it. Other than that, shouts out to y'all. Y'all doing good things. And then stop announcing when y'all go on patrol. Stop that. You ain't gonna never catch nothing. You know what I'm saying? Stop that. Stop that. It's poo-poo. Okay? Go on out there and, you know, if you're going to patrol, but stop letting people know where you're going to be at and stuff like that. If you're going to get other people to come on in and patrol, you know, find another way to get that information out there so you can actually stop some crimes as they're actively occurring. But other than that, shouts out to what you guys are doing. Nobody throwing no hate one time for that. There's too much work out here to be done to be throwing some hate. But stop using our kings to gas people up when they out there doing it wrong. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Because that's not correct. That's not the way you hold that rifle. You know, no one who is really combat trained, they are not impressed by the optics of people doing things wrong. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I'm going to continue to say. So in that, given that you all are still hearing me, let's go on ahead and continue. And then we'll work on the video and all the other stuff. Yeah, I don't see. I just see the trigger thing. Yeah. We're going to go on ahead and keep going. Oh, there we go. Hey, your mama. Not your mama, literally. You get it. You should have been here earlier, Toya. I hope you're doing good. I haven't seen you in a while. Here we go. So in this given situation, like I said, when I became a crisis intervention instructor, okay, I began to see how people how we begin to deal with persons that have mental illnesses, why they don't, in essence, respond to commands. And then there are even certain people, and I didn't learn this until I became a children's book author and started going to other conferences and stuff like that with other authors who wrote books about children with sensory deprivation issues and who become adults with those same issues, and they learn about autism and stuff like that. I think that when you don't deal with those issues, when you don't have those issues, it's easy to sit here and say something in the abstract or something so simple as they should have followed commands. They should have listened to what they were told. And they didn't do that. And then pop, they shot, they killed this person. And well, that's what you get when you don't do what you're supposed to do. It's easy to say that when you don't understand that following commands is more than just the ability to see and the ability to hear. It's also the ability to understand too. And if those abilities are blocked or blunt by some other mental illness that you don't understand this, that people fear what they don't understand. They fear what they don't understand. And we talked about in previous shows how, people who come from backgrounds or come from homes where they've been abused and things like that. You think because a person is a police officer, they haven't come from those places too? That doesn't excuse it, but it does provide a reason and understanding why people do what they do. We're not talking about justification. That's another topic, stuff like that. We're talking about why people shoot quicker at some than others. That fear, right? So because you're black, everybody understands you. Oh, you know black culture, right? Maybe not. Maybe this white person has only been immersed in white culture and only seen blacks passively. So that's the level of their understanding. Does that make it right? No, but that makes it what it is, right? You don't have to accept it, but you do need to understand it. Understanding and acceptance are not the same thing. And so when we look at this person with the knife, right, the police are backing away, back away, back away, back away, then pop, 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 shot. What did the mom, because I'm going to focus on the mom too. I'm looking at all parties involved. We can talk about the police all day, but I'm looking at the mom. What did the mom not know about her son, if that was the mom? What did the mom not know about her son? What training does the mom not have? Why was the mom, the person who brought him in the world, the person who was more able to understand his condition, what triggers him? What about her ability to not reach him? What is that? What is that? And why are we again lending our duties in essence to the police? The police did not on view this. They were called to that. So where is the disconnect to where the mom said, and you got some moms out there like that, right? Some moms out there that will sit there and say, fuck it, I'm gonna call the police because you're not listening. Well, why are they not able to listen to you? Why are they not able to listen to you? That's what I want to focus on too. So what do you think should be the police's new response? Because what I see is they're going to start to have mental health professionals that's going to go on ahead and respond to these calls, okay? And for some folks, if not half, I will give you half, right? Half of the people that they're going to deal with, the mental health professional, it's going to work, right? They're going to understand this person is having this type of crisis and you have to approach it this way. You can't approach it that way because that's not the brain space that they are in. Some people will ask the question, well, why did I write children's books? Or in essence, I'll give you even one better. Why did I choose to write an adult book in the form of a children's book? I could have written a long little novel or whatever the case might have been, or that kind of memoir. Well, why did I choose to write a children's book? Well, I chose to write an adult book in the form of a children's book because when you are angry, you are in that mind space of a child. You're not in that mind space of an adult that's able to, even though anatomically or in your body, in the structure of your body, you are in fact an adult, but in the mind space where you're angry, you're acting like a child. And so I, through my experience, know that explaining things in rather simplistic concepts, right? And even using pictures, things like that, that helps a person calm down. And so you understand, when a person is in a certain mind space, how to address that issue. So for half of the people, these mental health professionals, it's going to actually work. It is going to work. But there's going to be a percentage that no matter what you say, they coming after your ass. No matter what you say, they're going to come after you with that knife. No matter what you say, they're going to come after you with that gun. Now, I love talking. I have no problem with shooting. I have no problem with tasing. I have no problem with none of that other stuff. But I love talking. Why? Because within myself, I have the skill set to be able to do that. And I'm going to tell you, my certification as an anger management specialist, I didn't get that till after I got out the police department. My certification as a nonviolent crisis intervention instructor, I didn't get that until after I stopped being the police. And so when I got those things, I'm even of the question, as a trainer, why don't we get trained on this shit? Because if we got trained on this and we got trained in how to understand people in different cultures and even the controversialness of why you may address a man over a woman in certain neighborhoods, that's a thing, right? If you teach police training in a form of a level of realism, not the politics, fuck that shit. I'm talking about a level of realism and helping people understand why things, and what I would love to see, here's this. I would love to see community involvement in police training. I hear what you saying, fuck 12. I got it. Fuck the police. If that's how you feel, fine. It's your right to express and give a shit. But at the end of the day, looking at this call right here, do you understand it? This call right here, the people within those 4 walls, they called the police. So if you want better, be involved in the training that you really want to see. Let's get some community involvement in certain aspects of police training so you can get to see it from both sides so you can begin to understand. That's one of the reasons why I love being a trainer, because I could tell you all day, but I'd rather shock the fuck out of you and show you so you can see by experience that maybe what you've been trained may not necessarily be how things turn out. And that is what I fear would be another way. What words would have made him drop the knife? I don't know, because I'm not there. Different people respond differently. I urge you all to do this, right? If you all really care about understanding how to negotiate, get the book Never Split the Difference by veteran FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss. Or if you don't want to read the book, get the audio book. Or if you want to download the app Masterclass. I think I paid like $100 for the year or something like that. And you get access to all these people. Go watch Chris Voss's Masterclass of understanding how to negotiate with people. The problem is you may not be a good negotiator. You may not be able to understand how the human brain works, what causes people to act certain ways. That is a study. Do you understand? That's a study. And can we be honest that even us as citizens, we're not trained in how to deal with our own personal affairs and how to effectively negotiate. And so that, if anything, could attribute to your feelings about how you felt a situation could have been done. Yes, Aaron Withers, the audio book is great. Yes, Mike Love. Shouts out to Mike Love and Diz, Chicago Famous. Check them out today at 3 from 3 to 6, every day from 3 to 6, or Monday through Friday. But that book is a great book. You have to understand how to effectively negotiate. Everything that you do is a negotiation. One of the things that I love is mirroring, and especially the power in the word no. The power in the word no. And Chris Voss is a white guy. So can I really be against all white people and not understand that I can learn something from everyone? No. And I love when Trevor Noah, the host of The Daily Show, said this. You know, he's a South African, in America, doing a Daily Show. He even said it himself. Racism does not stand up well to contact. Whatever you learned about whoever you were taught about, once you get to know black people, it's hard for you to still be a racist unless you really want to be that thing. Whatever you learn about white people, it's hard for you to be. Don't get me wrong. You can still hate the behaviors of some and still have an open mind to say all are not this. Racism does not stand up to contact. That is a truth. All right. We're going to go ahead and go to break. And I'm going to talk about, again, what I feel should actually take place in order for some type of real change to actually occur. Because actually, I'm tired of talking about these damn stories. It's the same fucking outcome. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPN.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
attack. You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
Yeah. All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
WIFTBPN.
Live
from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
And so, my fellow Americans, I have a dream.
You're listening to Trigger.
You want to crown him? Then crown her ass. I ain't scared of you, mother.
The one and only
Mike Brown. Mike Brown.
My calculations are correct.
Let's begin.
All right, we're back. We're back with Trigger with Instructor Mike. I'm your host, Instructor Mike. So we're going to go right into it for the lack of more time to be able to discuss something that is very critical, and I might even continue it into Thursday. But a question was asked on here by Lakita Bendenfield. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not botching your last name. When it comes to the police, why did they have to shoot him that many times when all he had was a knife? Well, I will ask you this. Ask someone who has been stabbed if a knife doesn't hurt, if you can't be killed with a knife, and I'm not attacking you. Please don't think that I'm doing that. But I'm just telling you that experience is often greater than theory, and some things you don't want to experience. That's number one. Number two, why did he shoot so many times? I'm going to look at your statement again, Mike, and I'm going to address that. Okay. Why did they shoot so many times? How many cops did you have there? 2. And it was said that 10 shots or more were fired. I want you to understand, if you care to, what your human body goes through when you are approached with a situation where you feel that you are about to be killed. That's the question, right? Going to the range and learning how to shoot a gun, that's important. But if you have not ever been stress tested to the point where you have to make a split-second decision under that human stress, you may never really understand what you have to do in that situation. Ask folks in the streets, regardless to how much we want to sit there and say, fuck that, right? Fuck the police. Ask anybody in the streets who's ever been shot at or had to they almost got shot, but then they shot back. And you all watching, you got your people have probably been in those scenarios. Those, in my opinion, would be the better persons to ask, aside from myself and people on the police or law enforcement side, because they will tell you, yeah, Mike is right. Fuck that. We had to do something because I wasn't about to get shot. I saw that person with that knife. Fuck that. It's me or them. And that's the real way to look at it like that. But I will tell you this, that very little training, and I can tell you this in the police academy, we may have certain kinds of training, but the one thing that you really don't always see, unless they're now starting to do that, and I'm out of that circle now, so I wouldn't know, but unless they're now starting to do that, force-on-force training. I love force-on-force training. And in other words, you're shooting with simunition rounds. Those are little paintball rounds that the shit hurts like hell when you get shot. It marks you up, and you actually have to move around and do more than just hold that gun. I love force-on-force training because saying something 1,000 times is not the same thing as living it once. And when you know it's about to happen to you, it makes you move a little bit differently. It makes you operate a little bit differently. It makes you operate under that stress. So to get to the nucleus and essence of your question, Lakita, okay, when it comes to how many times they had to shoot him, I want you to understand that the worst thing that you can do is transmit to that person what you think they would feel if they were affected by this based upon how you would be affected by it. In other words, if I run my finger across a piece of paper and I get that paper cut, Mike Brown may say, shit, I'm canceling Christmas, don't want to talk to nobody, the pain is so searing, I need surgery. Some people make worse than something or a pain that's greater than what it actually is. That may be my sensation of pain because of my neurological receptors in terms of how I, Mike Brown, feel pain. The worst thing that you can do is transmit your ideas of what you feel should hurt onto someone else. In other words, pop, if I shoot them, bullets do hurt. Ergo, or therefore, all persons who are shot with a bullet should feel pain. Yeah, that is the case. They should feel pain. But do they feel pain? It depends. And you have no way to test if they feel that pain. Also, a person can fake pump you. In other words, they could act as though they're in pain and they're not, just to psychologically get you to weaken your guard, in essence, against them, so that way they can trap you in, an area of mind's play. And so you don't want to shadow those feelings off on that person. In essence, what I tell my students, regardless to whether you're the police or civilian, you really have to dehumanize that person. Okay, because under the physiological and psychological stress that you're going to undergo, this thing called the sensory nervous system dump, where all the blood and oxygen is pouring into and it doesn't matter if you're the police or not, this is a human phenomenon that's going to happen. The blood and oxygen pour into the major muscle groups to support a large muscular induced, stress induced physiological fight or flight response. Your brain switching from an area from the prefrontal cortex where logic and concept understanding and reasoning to the performance of that thing being in your amygdala. The amygdala is a small part of the brain that controls 4 things: fight, flight, freeze, and emotions. So you're not thinking, you're acting. And our bodies and brains are like this thing right here, a computer. What you put into it, you're going to get out of it. You're not rising to any occasion. You're stooping to the simplistic level of your training. What makes special operators, your SWATs, your Navy SEALs, your MARSOC, your Marine Raiders, special operators, your Rangers, special forces, what makes them great at what they do under stress is that they are perfectionists, if you will, at the basics. Simplistic concepts that produce big results under stress, because that's the area that your body is going to put you in. And when you try to think conceptually under stress, why didn't he shoot for the leg? Because I'm not seeing the leg. I'm seeing the chest. Because under that stress, especially if it's a startle response, you got to hurry up and operate underneath that. So that's one, a very scientific explanation. 2, the sides of a round of ammunition. Okay. Now, this is a magazine that I have with me. This is a round of ammunition. Now, I'm holding it up and the shit is so small, you can't even see it in the camera. So just imagine if this bullet, right, which is one of the 4 parts of this round of ammunition, is coming out so fast, you cannot see it. So you don't know, one, you know that you've shot. You may not know how many, you didn't miss the answer. I'm still answering it right now. And it's a long answer, so it's not a quick answer. You don't see the bullet, so you don't know if the bullet impacted. So you need some kind of signal to your simplistic brain that you are in that brain space right then and there, okay? And so we're looking for a big picture moment that signals to the stress-induced brain that says, what you did worked, stop. And you're not gonna look, pop, and see a bullet hole in someone's shirt. It's too small. Your brain isn't in that space because you have tunnel vision. You're under a lot of stress. And then the more out of shape you are, the more winded you could be. And because you're more winded, you're not really in your fine motor, skills in essence, where you're able to see small, rather detailed things, especially if you haven't trained to look for those things. So you need something big picture to happen. What was standing has now fallen. What was running forward has now turned course or has stopped. You need something big picture to stop you or to let you know that what you have done actually worked. And everyone who teaches firearms, I don't want to say everyone, but the great ones, if you will, who teach firearms teach you don't shoot until the threat has stopped. So whatever this threatening action is, you don't stop shooting until that threatening action has stopped. Usually it's a big picture moment. And until then, I could tell you this, on the range, I could go through a magazine of 20 rounds. I could go through a magazine of 15 rounds, a magazine of 12, a magazine of 10. And some of you all that like those little small ass pistols, you'll go through 6 rounds in 1.23 seconds. Why? Because under stress, the only thing your body is saying is act, point, pop, 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 shoot. And so now you're out of ammo. You shot too fast because you had your little pea starter. Okay, we're going to continue this conversation. This conversation is so good because I didn't even get to my point of what should the police response be. That's what we're going to make that Thursday show. So, hey, it's been great having you all. I'm going to go back into the comments later, and I'm going to address each of your comments and stuff like that. But until Thursday, you've been listening to Trigger with Instructor Mike Brown. I hope you all have been learning something. And we will come back and talk more about this on Thursday at 12:58. Stay tuned for the bigs. They're coming right up on What's in It for the Black People Media Network. I'll talk to you all.
WIIFTBPN. WIFTBPN.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTBPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
You're back on the soil, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week. It's time to talk some sports with the best, most illest sports media outlet in Chicago. I'm one half of the co-founders, your man T. Tomlin. I'm getting it cracking with my partner, my player partner, Eugene McIntosh. How you feeling, brother?
Like Cousin Two always says, brother, blessed and highly favored. Happy to be here on this beautiful, well, not necessarily beautiful outside, but just beautiful inside.
It's a little iffy outside today.
It's iffy outside, but just, you know, another day, another dollar, another holler, man. Happy to be here, ready to build with the people. You know I'm going in today, so all right, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm itching.
I already know how you feel about that Bears loss yesterday. We watched it go down on Monday Night Football. Definitely going to be talking about that a lot today. We actually want y'all to call in. We're opening up the phone lines in the second segment of today. 872-259-7474. We know the Bears fans out there got to get some things off their chest. We want to give you an opportunity to vent, man. Was it Nagy's fault? Was it Nick Foles' fault? Are you mad at Ryan Pace? Let us know. Give us a call. The number again is 872-259-7474. But first, man, you got to let them know what the law is when they jump down on the soil with the bigs.
Man, y'all know the rules and regulations, man. Slam that like button. Slam that share button. Continue to join the conversation, man. We need the people to join the conversation. We enjoy the comments. We love scrolling through the comments, watching everybody get it in the comment section. So make sure y'all share, like, comment, hit that gold star button at the bottom of the page, send the brother some love, and continue to help us push this thing forward, man. Shout out to everybody tuned in on YouTube. Shout out to everybody tuned in on Facebook Live. And, man, it's Spirit Week. I know y'all might be looking at me like, man, what the hell does this dude have on? It's Spirit Week here for What's in It for the Black People Media. Yesterday was Business Day. I think Sue and Herb, as far as I saw, Two and Herb won Business Day yesterday. They had on the suits. The comments was going crazy.
I saw the comments. I saw Herb suit too. I thought we had missed the Sunday service session or something. But
man, the comments was going in on them brothers, man. It was hilarious. But
shout out to our brother Herb. You know, we got down last Sunday, kick off the Sunday kickback. So yeah.
Yeah, make sure y'all tune in every Sunday from 10 to 11. Me, T, and our Biggs resident Herb Howard, half of I Said What I Said, rocking every Sunday to kickoff, kickback. Well, we talk NFL, we talk Bears, we talk fantasy, we talk sports book, we talk all things football. So make sure y'all rock with us on Sundays. But it's Spirit Week. Today is College Day, and I don't have any of my college gear. I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge for 2 years. I had a couple pieces. I don't know what happened to them. I think a couple of them got lost in a flood. They got messed up in a flood.
Ooh.
I'm also a Chicago State University representative.
Okay.
Y'all know I don't have anything Chicago State.
We need to get you in some green and black.
I saw Ron's shirt.
But shout out to the Cougars, right?
Ron is repping for his boy. I appreciate that, Ron. I love the state, man. I love the state. The state held me down for a few years. But you see my boy over here representing that that HBCU life.
Let them know what it is, man. The real MSU, Morgan State University, class of 2012, man. Shout out to my Baltimore, Maryland fam.
Be more.
Got a lot of family on the East Coast, man, that I still show love to. Anytime I get a chance to rep Morgan State University, it's where I first got on the grind, man. Is when I first started to take steps into the media world. I worked in the NBC News sports station there and got to cover the Baltimore Ravens. So it's always going to be love for my Morgan State family. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, man. HBCU proud. I see you, Tiger. Man, and I was just about to say, man, if you didn't get to hit that HBCU life, then you probably missed out on a piece of your blackness, man, because I found a lot of my blackness when I took it down to Baton Rouge for those couple years, man. I learned a lot, met a lot of good friends, a lot of long-time, lifetime friends.
Absolutely.
Got to experience New Orleans, how it was supposed to be experienced. Ooh. Got to travel, got to hit Atlanta, got to hit Miami, got to hit Texas, a lot of Alabama, a lot of states and cities that I probably never would have gone to or never would have thought about going to had I not touched down at Southern University. And I want to give a special shout-out to our baseball coach who's now in the Hall of Fame, Coach Roger Cador, who basically set me on the path that I am on now. That's a whole nother story, but he basically told me that I wasn't on shit when I was down there. I thought, I was bigger than I was, and basically told me if I didn't get my life together, then I was headed for no man's land. So I appreciate Coach for instilling the values in me that my mother and my grandmother and everybody that was a part of my life before had instilled in me. So,
man, what's one of your best memories from being down in Southern?
Man, we did a lot of bad things at Southern, man.
I heard from kicking it with you, I heard the stories. Go ahead and dig in the box and give me one.
Man, so Krispy Kremes. The Krispy Kreme factory, one of the Krispy Kreme factories was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So Southern University and LSU were like maybe 6 to 7 miles apart.
Okay.
So the Krispy Kreme factory was like, I would say about 2 miles from LSU.
The factory?
The Krispy, like not the factory, but just one of them. I think the one that supplied all of Baton Rouge.
Okay.
It was a couple miles from LSU. So let me tell you what we did. I'm not putting no names out there because my people need to remain anonymous.
We'll keep them anonymous for
those
sure.
that know. Hey, man. We drove. Okay. So we used to steal from the mall. Joe,
the statute of limitations is passed, I'm sure.
Them 7 years, we got
we
three times.
We get to laugh about this now. Go ahead.
Dude, we used to steal from Circle K, which was, Circle K, which is like 7-Eleven or your local gas station mart. We used to steal everything from Circle K. Blunts, beer, whatever you name, we stole it from Circle K. The folks were out there going crazy, man. Man, we did a lot, but let me tell you my favorite story. Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
We go to Krispy Kreme. We stalk Krispy Kreme out. Dude, listen to me, man. We stalked them out, bro. We went to Krispy Kreme, so we we found out what time they made their deliveries, what time they set up, and what time it was delivery time to deliver throughout Baton Rouge.
A true steak. Y'all really plotting on them. Okay.
Dude, we sat outside Krispy Kreme. We watched the dude come from inside the factory to the truck and load like 12 boxes of donuts at a time.
The Mark. Okay, so he's the Mark. Okay.
It took him approximately 7 minutes in between load in. From the time he loaded a 12-pack to go back into the factory to come back out to put another 12-pack on the truck. It took him approximately 7 minutes. So we watched them 4 separate times just to make sure those 7 minutes was it. Fam, on that fourth 7 minutes, we took every donut on the truck.
This sounds like a straight up movie plot. This is the Ocean's 11. Y'all truly plotted on him. So he came back to the truck.
He came back to the truck empty. 12. He went back in, came back to the truck 24. Went back in, came back to the truck 36. Went back in, came back to the truck 48 boxes of donuts on the truck. Within that next 7 minutes, when he came back out to the truck, no donuts on the truck. We took 48 boxes of donuts back to the campus. Boy, we had a field day for like 3 days with Krispy Kreme. We were supplying the whole campus, the whole yard with Krispy Kremes. Everybody in our dorm, we had free Krispy Kremes for the dorm for like a week. It cracked, man. That was literally one of my best moments, one of my most fun times at Southern. I know
it was petty. Yes, it was.
It was extremely petty.
But it's a lot of petty stuff in college. I don't even know if I want to get into the stories. I feel like I would be telling on people. It's like, nah.
Hey man, they can remain nameless. Man.
Yeah, they can remain nameless. But Morgan State, it was a whole different situation for me, man. I had my twin brother down there with me, and 2 of my best friends of all time. They still my best friends. You know what I mean? GTD was down there, and we just took over. I feel like Chicago really had a presence on the Morgan State campus after we got down there. A lot of the Chicago people that were kind of like homesick, we gave them, a space to be real, and it really got turned up on Morgan State while we were there. A lot of Chicago people ended up down there. Like, I wasn't getting my hair cut until I found a Chicago mug down there. You know what I mean? Because the Baltimore barbers had me lined up like Boosie off GP.
My God.
I looked in the mirror one time like, hold on, I didn't ask for the Boosie, fam. You're like, but this a fade.
No,
like,
that's a bowl.
This is a Boosie. Like, come on. But adjustments was made, and I had a ball down in Morgan State, man.
Well, I just want to say for the record, Coach Cato definitely knew that we was what we were doing. Like, we thought we was slick because we were from the crib. Baseball coach definitely
I'm sure
knew
he was like, it's some of y'all in every class.
That's why he pulled me to the side and said, look, bro, you need to get your life together before you end up a statistic like a few of my other baseball players have been. And I took, because I came down there, like, I didn't come down here for this. Like, I was totally on the road to, on a path to destruction.
But you came down there to get it in, though.
We got it in.
You know who was coaching at Morgan State while I was there, who took over the basketball team?
Who?
Todd Bozeman.
Oh, really?
Jason Kidd's.
At Cal?
Yeah.
Wow.
He ended up, you remember, I think something happened where he had to take some time off. I think he got suspended by the NCAA, and Morgan State was who he got back in the game with. So they ended up with a couple of NCAA tournament appearances. If you remember when Blake Griffin got flipped over, that was versus us. That was my homie Amir. He was in all my classes.
He wasn't going off no damn Blake Griffin.
I knew before the game he wasn't going. He was just one of those dudes. He wasn't going off anything. And if Blake was going to put his foot in his butt, he was going to have to fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of player Amir was.
Hey, man. HBCU life, man. Some of the greatest times of my entire life.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to jump into the Bears talk after this break. Like we said, we want to hear from y'all. 872-259-7474. Hit our lineup. We'll be back talking Bears after the break. You're on the soil.
WIIFTBP.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
WIIFTBPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
Yeah. All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting.
Right.
And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to a whole genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. Mm-hmm. However, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIIFTBPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
PM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
Chicago famous with Mike Love and Diz.
The Destin legend himself, Leon Rogers.
Yeah. What's going on, Playboy? Man, listen, honored to be here with radio legends, man. Two brothers I looked up for and patterned my success.
You walked away from your day job and you went straight in the
Man, brother, first time somebody called me to do the gig, they was like, hey, I got my grandmama's 85-year-old birthday party. She's turning 85. She has a brain tumor. I mean, now she's not going to be able to hear because she's in a coma, but she'll be laying in the room, and we just want the good vibes. Well, what is it? $75. We need you to do an hour. I'm there because of the passion. I wanted to do the comedy. So I quit. But when you quit that job, and the job I had was decent. My father, every young black man should have a dad or a father figure in his life.
Yes.
When I say he went off on me.
My son works.
When I told him I quit to do comedy, my mom, mamas is always like, well, that's good, baby. You spread your wings. Realizing what God wants you to do.
Right.
My father like, you got to be the dumbest son of a bitch in the world. I can't believe you came from my ball sack. $65,000 a year. Me and your mama combined only make 80. You dumb mother. I mean, going off. Like me and my pops actually kind of fell out.
Old school black fathers, old school mindset. They came up working. They know how hard it is.
Hands knuckles black. Hands look like he worked at the steel mill, like he was dipping them in the lava. So he pissed. My hands manicured.
He's super cool and he know kung fu.
I'm clean. I work on computers.
Drives a $5,000 car and wears a $100 suit.
Right. He like, I'm out here getting lung poisoning from inhaling all these steel mill fumes and touching people's mail. Look at my hands. I can't even pick up a fork and knife. Your mama got to cut my food for me. And you want to quit to do some damn comedy. He hell.
Chicago famous. 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. We done had a heart attack.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work. Right.
You're cool. You, I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
WIFTV PM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
Foles yesterday, and he said, sometimes play calls come in, and I know that I don't have time to execute that play call. And, I'm the one out here getting hit. Sometimes the guy calling the plays, Matt Nagy, he doesn't know how much time there is back here. And so that's something that they have to get worked out.
Man, I don't know how many times I listened to that over the last 24 hours, but it's hitting me the same way every time. The Bears got some issues on the offensive side of the ball, man.
Do they?
You tried to tell me I was trying to look on the bright side of things, but I feel like it all got exposed yesterday in the Monday night game versus the Los Angeles Rams. You said something to me in the whip over here that I'm still thinking about. You said the guys went all that way just to kick a field goal.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, man.
Period, man. So now, real talk, we want to hear from y'all. I've been ranting for the last, I don't know how many hours. I was up late looking at video. I want to hear from y'all how y'all feel about this Bears win. I know how Gene feels. He's not going, period. He's been trying to tell us. It's time we take a step back and let y'all grab the mic. We want to hear what y'all got to say. The phone lines are now open, y'all. 872-259-7474. I think we got our first caller on the line already. Can we bring him on?
Yo.
You're on the Sawyer with the Bigs. Talk to us.
Who we got out there, man? Who is this on the soil with the Bigs?
Your boy Larry, man. You already know.
Laro, what's good, brother?
Man, chilling, man. Trying to stay out the way. You already know.
I stayed off social media last night, man, because I didn't want to explode, brother. I had to save everything I had in me for today. And if anybody that's been following me, you of all people know that I'm not going off the Bears, man. This is probably the worst 5-2 team that I've ever seen in National Football League history. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. I feel like majority Bears fans are just like, we never really look at our record and think that's authentic. Like, we just be like, okay, we 6-1, we 6-2, that's cool, but we know what we are. We know who we are. And we not as good as our record says we are. We already knew it. But I cut the game off last night in the middle of the second quarter, man. I wasn't going to watch that. I wasn't going to watch this disgusting display of football, man.
Man, who gets the blame, though? Are we blaming the head coach? Are we blaming the quarterback? It seems like the Bears always have quarterback issues,
For me personally, I wanted to blame Nagy yesterday, but the super fan, my homie Scott, y'all know Scott. Scott said it's bigger than Nagy, man. He said it's everybody from the ownership to pay to Nagy. He said it ain't just Nagy's fault. And I can understand that, but it's at the same time for me, it's like I really don't be understanding what people be wanting us to do in certain situations. But I just know, like, I don't know, man. I know last week Nick Foles looked decent. He looked okay. Then this week, it's like our offense is like the worst, which ends up making our defense look bad because the offense can't stay on the field long enough, so the defense is getting tired. And it's just it's the same story for like the last 10 years, man. 10 years.
But when you said Nick Foles looks okay, Larry, that's not good enough, man. Looking okay is not good enough, bruh. And I agree with the CEO. I agree with Scott, man. It's everybody's fault. I told Terrence from the beginning of the year, I think everybody shares now since we're gonna hold ownership accountable, then I gotta split it up 25% each. Because I'm gonna give 25% to the ownership, I'm gonna give 25% to Ryan Pace, I'm gonna give 25% to Matt Nagy, and I'm gonna give the other 25% to the rest of the team. Because to be honest with you, I don't think we are as talented as a lot of people think. Defensively, yeah, whatever. But offensively, they're not even regulation, if you ask me. They got one better than average offensive player, and that's Allen Robinson. And then he doesn't even get to show how good of a player he is because of the terrible calls Matt Nagy throws out there and because of the okay at times, quarterback of Nick Foles. I think it's just a Travis Shamockery all the way around, brother.
Period. You know what I mean? I feel like. Go ahead, Larry. I didn't want to cut you off, brother. Definitely, I feel like that's what the biggest takeaway from the game was yesterday, y'all, because now that Mr. Trubisky is out the way, you see that the play calling is still terrible. I feel like even the packages of players that's on the field most of the time are questionable. How many times did we see Demetrius Harris out there instead of Cole Kmet? How many times did we see Cordarrelle Patterson out there instead of a real running back?
Get him out of the backfield, man.
Ted Ginn Jr. looked like he just wanted to walk around the field yesterday. He wasn't returning any punts. And now, I mean, you understand, like you've been saying, Larry, is that this has been the issue for the last few years when it comes to the offense. You know what I mean? This isn't like, okay, now we got a new problem. No, this has been the issue for the last few years, and it's time to look at the management. You know what I mean? It's time to look at, is the right guy calling the plays? Do we got the right guy building the team? Because if you look at that offensive line, it was like crash dummies out there versus Aaron Donald last night. Like, fam was in pure practice mode.
Now it's time to look at the management.
Well, yesterday was the kind of loss that, I mean, they were 5-1 coming into so what? You've been going, you ain't been going for a while. You saying the management should have been on the hot seat.
Man, the management should have been on, all them guys should have been on a hot seat, man. It's disgusting, to be honest with you. I'm 100% disgusted. At last night, that was...
Lero, brother, thanks for checking in. We got somebody on the line waiting. We definitely got to hear from you again next time something happens. All right, brother?
No doubt, brother. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. We got Brandon on the soil with us, man. Talk to us.
I think the comment, I see the comments saying they can't hear the caller.
Can we turn them up a little bit? All right, Brandon, man. Go ahead and talk to us, man. You're on the soil with the bigs.
Brandon, you out there? Is Brandon out there?
Must have stopped to roll up. He was on hold. He must have been rolling up. You there, brother?
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, Brandon, man? You on the soil, man. Talk to us. How you feeling about those Bears, man?
I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised. In the words of Dennis Green, the Bears are exactly what we thought they were.
Say it again, bro. Say it again, bro.
The Bears are who exactly what we thought they were. We didn't, when we switched in Foles from Trubisky, we didn't go from the start. We were really from a third string QB to a second string. We didn't go from, to having Joe Montana back there. Nick Foles is a backup. He's a career backup. That's what he is. That's what he plays like. Why are we surprised when he does backup QB things? He misses wide open receivers. Those are backup QB things. Those are the things that teams who are winning execute, and teams who, in the Bears' case, are pretenders, do not execute. The defense.
Y'all doing this right.
Hey, brother.
Can you hear that?
You echo on my sentiments, man, because Nick Foles is 100% a career backup. I think people get that Super Bowl win that Carson Wentz played the majority of the season. Okay, Nick Foles did come in. He did do his thing. But, Brandon, you out there? Oh, bro is out of there. But I echo his sentiments, man. I think Nick Foles is a career backup, 100%. And like Larry said, when they signed Nick Foles, it was kind of like a Band-Aid. I think you said the same thing earlier in the season, T. It's like a Band-Aid. And, of course, Nick Foles isn't the Bears' future going forward. But what do you want? I mean, what are we supposed to do, man? What are we supposed to do, brother?
Supposed to sit back and take it week to week. I mean, you know how I feel. You know what I mean? I feel like the offense was terrible this week. You know what I mean?
The offense has been terrible every week, man.
Before last week, the offense has been good enough to win. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's all they've needed. They was absolutely fucking terrible last night. Like, it's no way around it. You know what I mean? They didn't. I don't know how many targets Allen Robinson got, but it wasn't enough. They don't run the ball enough. The offensive line looked like me and you and them. You know what I mean? Me and the guys out there, pretty much. You know what I mean?
And I think as far as running the ball, you have to kind of take a page out of what the San Francisco 49ers did last year. I mean, Jimmy G wasn't exceptional offensively, but they had Raheem Mostert and whoever else they had in the backfield. The defense was the catalyst, but they were able to run the ball to help the defense out. Last night, we saw the defense, they looked gassed going down the end of the third into the fourth. I mean, they were very undisciplined. They had a couple, Akeem Hicks had a couple terrible penalties. There were a couple other penalties that just didn't look like the Bears' defense that we saw the previous weeks. But I think that's because the offense isn't giving them enough of a blow to gather themselves before coming back on the field.
I feel like we're getting a lot from the defense. You know what I mean? We're getting a lot from the defense. Khalil Mack had another monster game. I think he ended with like 6 tackles, a sack, forced fumble. You know, he did his thing yesterday. Akeem Hicks, I feel like, had a frustrating game. We saw him, you know, have a couple of petty penalties that really hurt the defense.
Terrible, man.
And it just wasn't at all what you wanted to see from the guys last night. You know, going up against probably one of the best teams that they've had, or that they played against all year besides the Buccaneers, definitely probably the best defense that they played all year, came out and laid an egg. So definitely now I feel like you got to look in the mirror again, go back to the drawing board and get it right. You know what I mean? But from a fan's perspective, I know fans have been waiting on this game. It's been questions all year about are they as good as their record? They're 5-1, but are they the worst 5-1 team in the league? Hey, that's definitely on the serving platter right now. But
I think we got another caller, man.
We got a line. All right, so Jen, you know what I mean? You know how I feel? I feel like, you know, you gotta chalk up your L's and get it going next week, you know?
So who do they have next week?
They got Saints on a late afternoon game next week.
And this is, so again, the best part about, we got a caller? I think we got a caller. Caller, who we got out there? Yo. Caller, you're on the soil with the bigs. Who we got out there?
We're going to have to work on this phone line because we dropping y'all. We see y'all calling in, but we got to get a little bit better on our end.
Let's take a quick break. Let's make sure we got get these technical difficulties in order. We're going to come right back, and we want to hear from the callers, man, because like I said, I'm disgusted, bro. Like, I might just explode in front of everybody right now. So we might need to just take a quick break. Let me woosah, and we're going to come right back.
WIFTV PM.
You
can hang out with Chicago famous Mike Love and Diz 3 to 6 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media live on the Mace Jackson page. So shout out to Chicago famous. They did their thing. They did a phenomenal job. Those brothers, listen, radio legends, right? And you come in and you used to doing things one way and trying to flip it and do another way. They handled it seamlessly, man. So shout out to Mike Love and Diz for holding it down as they always have done. Welcome to the What's in It for the Black People Media family. Good luck at achieving number 2 status for the second best show on What's in It for the Black People Media, because number 1 is and always will be I Said What I Said.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Whenever I play, I want to play to win. I don't see no purpose in playing.
You play to win the game.
What's the word?
In the famous
Can
words
you
of
beat
Herman.
my ass, though?
Can you whoop my ass, though?
It's really that simple. I don't plan on getting my ass whooped.
Hey, yo, wait a minute. Hey.
Chicago famous ain't gonna whoop my ass.
And Chicago
we
famous
not here for no ass whoop.
Hey, what's your problem, man? Y'all are brothers. You ain't supposed to be fighting each other.
We not here for no ass whoop.
That's not what we here for.
We're not here for no ass whoop.
It's not what we here for.
Not at all.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
WIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
You are back on the soil with the Bigs. We are kicking it live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios, talking about whatever happened, whatever that was last night on Monday night.
You see me, man, I had to take the hat off. I had to get the headphones a break because, like I said, man, I was about to explode in here, man. That's how disgusted I am with our Chicago Bears right now.
You know why I wasn't too mad yesterday? Because I looked at that full scoreboard, and I guess we'll talk about it next Sunday. But I killed on my picks yesterday. I don't even know if I don't know my exact record, but I know off the top, a lot of the teams I picked came out on top in those final seconds.
You mean on Sunday?
Yeah.
So you more worried about your picks on Sunday than our Chicago Bears?
You know what? I felt like I was picking that Bears game with my heart instead of my head anyway. So I kind of was like, as soon as I saw which way it was going, I was like, you know what? Let me just wash my hands with this one. I should have known better.
Hey, man.
Because remember, I said, hey, the Rams is coming off a loss, and they thirsty. They don't do 2 losses in a row.
And Aaron Donald was super thirsty. You saw how thirsty he was yesterday. If he had 2, he would have had 2.5 sacks, but he failed twice because I guess he was so surprised that he was so open when he was turning that corner. Oh, I see we got a caller.
Let's go ahead and bring him on. Reese, you on the soil with the Bigs.
Reese, what up, man?
We can hear you, brother. Go ahead.
I agree with you.
Oh, I know we just didn't hear the name Mitchell Trubisky.
Did you see my tweet last night? I know you did. When they was down 24-3, I said, "Hey man,
do y'all want to see Mitch behind this offensive line?
I want to see Mitch back.
Why do you want to see Mitch back?
Because Nick Foles is Huff, man.
You see, I feel we always go a step over the line. Thank you for the call, Reese. I feel like Reese had a bunch of points
and
that you can't argue with.
I want to start with his first point.
I hope you're not going where I think you're going with this.
No, we're going to start with the Bears' run defense because he made a great point there.
Okay.
The Bears the Bears are number one in the NFL in giving up long runs. Number one.
Okay.
Number one. And the Rams backs are decent.
And that's generous, I feel like.
Thank you.
The Rams running backs are average at best. Malcolm Brown, Darnell Henderson Jr., just, you know what I mean? Neither one of those names jump out at you as like big playmakers in the league.
No, go ahead.
But we did see a bunch of yards being given up yesterday, man. We saw running backs get big chunks of yards. We saw the receivers wide open most of the game. I feel like 10, 15, 20-yard chunks. Offensive, plays at a time. But see, at the same time, I feel like the defense straightens up when they need to. We saw a lot of those Rams drives end in punts that looked like they had momentum to go the distance, and the defense just tightens up once they get across the 50-yard line. I don't know what that's about. Even though I totally feel like they gave up too many yards in the first half. If you're serious about winning, you know what I mean? That's not what you want to see from the defense. They get penalized like nobody's business out there.
But like Kenneth Steele said, we got Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry the next 2 weeks.
The road only gets tougher, but I want to address this Mitchell Trubisky thing. Are fans really out here asking for Mitch Trubisky behind center again? Is that like a small silent minority?
I would probably go with the second option, the small minority. But maybe I went a little too far. Maybe that was just my frustration kicking in. But like Reese said, there were a couple of times when Nick Foles was not able to step up in the pocket, move around in the pocket, and deliver the ball. But then that goes back to the video that you played at the beginning of the segment where he said a lot of times those play calls come in and he already knows that they're not going to work.
Period.
Because he's the one out there receiving the ball and ain't got time to get the play off.
So you know what I feel like that's really like? I feel like while Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback, it was a bunch of leaks coming out of Hallis Hall about, oh, Mitch Trubisky, he wanted to turn the TVs off. All of that kind of stuff, I feel like to kind of undermine Mitch Trubisky and make the decision to move on from him a little bit easier. You know what I mean? I don't know who was leaking that stuff out of Hallis Hall, but I feel like Nick Foles coming out, even if that's a conversation between him and Brian Griese that wasn't supposed to see the light of day, even if that was between them, I feel like Nick Foles is out there like, look, I'm not Mitch Trubisky. I'm going to tell y'all what's going on. This man calling plays that I know that's not going to work as soon as I get him.
That's ridiculous, man.
It's totally ridiculous, and it's a big problem. It was all they talked about in the post-game interview, basically. I feel like it's the only thing I've heard on local radio is that the relationship between Nagy and his quarterbacks is not what it needs to be. And I feel like that is where we're headed. We're headed toward Matt Nagy is to blame. You know what I mean? I feel like he's the next easiest one. And next thing we know, if the Bears don't start winning again, I mean, like you said, the road ahead is 3 games. We could be 5-5 in the blink of an eye.
Hey, man, let me tell you this. Well, actually, what we're going to do, we're going to go pay a couple bills. When we return, we need to know who's catching these strays, man, because it's do time, if you ask me. That's the stray bullets being let loose, man. So when we come back from this break, we want to know who's catching these strays. Is it Ryan Pace? Is it management? Is it Matt Nagy? Is it the team? Is it just the Bears franchise in general, man? We will be back in a minute. You're on the soil with the Bigs.
WIFTVPM.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. Be done had a heart attack.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day, because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
He is joining Chicago famous Mr. Rick Party.
I remember meeting the Brat before she was big. We were going to Jack the Rapper conference in Atlanta.
Jack the Rapper again.
So she's sitting, waiting for a plane. She got her braids in her hair, got her overalls on, and she saw me walk up to the gate. She's like, Rick Party, oh my God. She's doing all of that. I said, well, who are you? She goes, I'm the Brat. I'm a new rapper from the, I live on the West Side. I'm with So Def. I'm about to meet Jermaine Dupri. I did some on Chris Cross's song. I think it was the Bomb or something like that? Or
Right.
Yeah. She did some on there. So that was my introduction to her. So she would come back to my show every now and then and help me introduce the Coke Top 99. I remember we played a home jam and had people judge her song, right? And some people were like, it's all right, it's okay. And she's like, yo,
Wow.
Straight West Side, man. It was crazy.
Straight West Side.
Yeah, so.
Chicago famous, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations?
I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
You can hang out with Chicago famous Mike Love and Diz 3 to 6 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media live on the Mace Jackson page. So shout out to Chicago famous. They did their thing. They did a phenomenal job. Those brothers, listen, radio legends, right? And you come in, you used to doing things one way and trying to flip it and do another way. They handled it seamlessly, man. So shout out to Mike Love and Diz for holding it down as they always have done. Welcome to the What's in It for the Black People Media family. Good luck at achieving number 2 status for the second best show on What's in It for the Black People Media, because number 1 is and always will be I Said What I Said.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Whenever I play, I want to play to win. I don't see no purpose in playing.
You play to win the game.
What's the word?
In the famous
Can
words.
you beat my ass though?
Can you whoop my ass though?
It's really that simple. I don't plan on getting my ass whooped.
Hey, yo, wait a minute. Hey.
Chicago famous, they can whoop my ass.
And Chicago
we
famous.
We not here for no ass whoop.
Yo, what's your problem, man? Y'all are brothers. You ain't supposed to be fighting each other.
We not here for no ass whoop.
That's not what we here for.
We're not here for no ass whoop.
It's not what we here for.
Not at all.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
WIIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
You are back on the soil with the Bigs, coming to you live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
Hey, man, it's Spirit Week, Joe. I forgot to let y'all know, man, since I didn't have my Southern University gear or my Chicago State gear, my boy Ron holding it down behind the scenes for us, I'm rocking Mount Carmel, man. Y'all already know Mays tried to get on me when I came in talking about was I rocking my girls wrestling team jacket. No, man, you see these varsity letters on here, man.
The letters all okay.
You see these ships, ain't nothing but ships on these things, man. Class of 94, man, number 1 in the state for every week until we got to the semifinals and jagged against Brother Rice.
Shout out to the conversation you and Twan had.
Only team we lost to in Illinois that whole year.
But it was the white boys.
It was the white boys.
Was it
man.
the pressure?
But it was.
And Brother Rice, as a Catholic leaguer, Brother Rice is the white boy.
But they had, don't forget they had Rico Hill and Britt Booker though.
It was a whole different.
They had
shout out to Hoopville.
Excuses are like assholes.
He just trying to run the history lesson down to you, right?
Hey man, anyway, man, I'm rocking Mount Carmel today, man. We are MC, the men of 6410. Y'all see it, man. And it's feeling godly right now, man.
Definitely. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I should have known Gene was going to be repping Mount Carmel. Hey, let's jump back on the phone lines, though. We want to bring Reese back on because he made some great points. Reese, you're back on the soil. Talk to us, bro.
Hey, Reese, I know you poured another cup of whiskey, though,
didn't you?
You
had to re-up that cup of
whiskey. Man, look. My man Ace from downstairs, he came up here and gave me some scotch. It was scotch, though. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't supposed to be taking it to the face like I was supposed to, but I did that anyway. But anyway, I still got one more of those Beale Street hazy IPAs by 8 Ball and MJG. Shout out to my man Thomas. Shout out to the people that hooked me and Gene up.
Space Age sipping.
But yeah, Space Age sipping. Y'all got to go pick that up. But like I was saying, the run defense has really been bad since the beginning of the season, and I don't know if it's that much of an Eddie Goldman thing, but apparently it is that much of an Eddie Goldman thing. Or is it that our linebackers are slower? Is it Trevathan is slower? He was looking slower early in the season, and then he turned it up a little bit later. So I don't know if it's that. I'm not blaming it on the defense because they're one of the only things we can fake hang our hats on. But if we can't stop the run, if they need to pick up a first down, and on first down they get a 7-yard run, and like what the fuck are we supposed to do? Now that's just that. But on the offensive side, I mean the offensive line is really Daniels being out hurts a lot. I'm not saying that he's an all-pro. I'm not saying this, that, and the other. But he's a lot better than the guys that we got in there. We have 2 guards who just got there, Ifedi and some other motherfucker, and then our tackles are up.
Massey and
the center is
Massey and Leno.
Massey and Leno.
Charles Leno Jr.
And the thing about it is those guys are signed. Those guys are signed for some years. So we can't even flip them for an 8th rounder. It ain't even 8 rounds in the NFL draft, but you know what I'm saying. We can't even flip them for an 8th rounder. So it's like we have these tackles that are signed up, that are on our team. One of them may be kind of decent, which is still below average. And then you have a whole line full of everything else that's tough. Like I said, my man Nasty Nick, no disrespect to Nick Cannon, who's the original Nasty Nick, but Nick Foles, you know, he can't really move that much in the pocket. He's a quick read quarterback. If after he dropped back, if after 2.5 seconds he's not releasing the ball, you're going to have trouble. You know what I'm saying? He got off one of those passes to Komet, which was a trouble pass. In real life, he would have been sacked and it would have been a fumble or what, this, that, and other. But the luck of God helped him get that pass off. But even that pass, like, how come the Bears offense, how come we don't never just run them plays, or we have position players that when we run our offense, our receiver or our running back or whoever is catching the ball is a good 5 yards away from the guy, and he's just gone, and he runs for 40 yards. I was watching that shit the other day. I was watching Kansas City and them, and I know we not them, but we all in professional football, so I got to still bring it up.
But Reese,
it's just like,
this is my point. This is what I tell Terrence all the time. Matt Nagy thinks that he has Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill in the backfield to be able to...
See, that's the problem.
You can just see that with the way he treats Cordarrelle Patterson.
It's scheme. A lot of the problem is scheme, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of NFL teams with more beat-up offensive lines than ours. Yet, San Francisco just ran for 176 yards with their running back, with their running game. And their offensive line is more beat up than ours. It's other teams in the NFL whose offensive lines are very beat up, yet the coach puts together a scheme where they can pick up yards. And it's just like, I fuck with Nagy on the strength of the players fuck with him and the players play hard for him. The Bears don't really give up. But that's pretty much all he has. He's a leader of men, but he's not supposed to be calling offensive plays. No matter if he was sold to us as the offensive guru, he gets too cute. That Cordarrelle Patterson pitch out was ridiculous. It's just like, you're going to give the dogs a time to look at you, throw the ball back there, and run and smack the shit out of the motherfucker. So it's just like, come on, man. I ain't never coached football in my life, but I know that. I know better than that.
Reese,
so
how much faith do you have that these guys can turn it around? You know what I mean, they're 5-2. It's not like the sky is falling all the way.
Right.
Yet,
It's not like they're 4-3. Yeah. The only faith. I think the only thing that can turn the Bears around has a lot to do with Matt Nagy's pride. He's prideful. He doesn't want to give up the offensive playbook. He doesn't want to potentially give it to whoever the other 9 motherfuckers that we signed for offensive shit. Like, he knew that he got hired as the Bears as an offensive guru. So unless he stops getting cute and, you know, humbles himself, we're going to be in the same boat. The only way we can turn it around is if he real live use the players in position, the position players that are good at what they do, make up or call plays that, you know, specialize in what they do. Like, you can't have Nick Foles do a super rollout where you know that his rollout game is kind of huff. You can't have it's just certain like regular shit. Like, he has to cater to what he has on his rooster, and that has always been for like all Chicago teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if we like,
especially over the last couple of years, I feel like that's what we've been saying about Matt Nagy since after. Yeah, I mean that playoff season where they
exactly after the season where he was cute and nobody knew what he was doing.
Period.
So that shit worked. It worked that first year. You was cute that first year. You know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't. You was catching people by surprise. You was able to do extra little this, that, and the other. But when it comes to the second and 12, can you drop back and hit that receiver on a curl or something just to pick up the 12 yards? It's like all of our stuff is really predicated off of run after catch, and it's just like the way that the plays are set up. Our best run after catch guys would have been like Tyreek Cohen and maybe the Miller guy who did the amazing one-hand catch yesterday, but he won't be able to catch the regulation shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're good with the ball in their hands. They're good run after catch. They can make some shit happen. But we don't have enough plays that separate our skill players from the defender. It's like every big play we've had has been contested. The motherfucker got to jump up and Randy Moss you every time in order to get the, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, we don't got players that can do that all the time. So, like, you need to set up stuff where the guys get open. The Mooney guy, he killed one of the best corners in the league
twice. He was
super
twice.
open. Yeah, but it was like, he was open, but shit, the quarterback didn't have the time to deliver the ball. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with Nasty Nick, so he got to set his feet in order to be able to throw something. He ain't gonna just be able to. He ain't gonna pat my arms, throw it off of his back toe, and it's gonna be a perfect spiral, and it's a fucking 43-yard touchdown. He got to set his feet. The person got to do the break. He got to hit him out of the break. All of the great shit. Like, we don't have a team that can perform the excellent stuff every play in order to win. And it's like the defense got to play excellent. The offense got to play fake excellent. It's like first down, we got to get a run of 4 to 5 yards.
If I had a penny every time we said that. If I had a penny every time we said the Bears defense got to play,
we'd be rich, and then we wouldn't have phone troubles or nothing because we'd be doing some Super Bowl shit because we'd be zillionaires because it's a penny for that every fucking day.
Reese, man, thank you so much, bro, for calling in. We're going to have to get you on
thank
here
you, guys. I'm glad I was able to get through. I just had to kick my shit real fast because y'all know I watched it up in here. And,
yes, sir.
I still got hope because it's go Bears no matter what. I ain't rooting for nobody else because I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to act like shit ain't Huff when it's Huff. So y'all keep it going, and I'm about to listen. I'm out.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother. But I want to comment, one of the comments I see Brandon said, and it echoes what Reese was just saying. Nagy's ego is going to ultimately be his undoing in Chicago. His scheming and play calling simply suck monkey balls.
Period. You know what I mean? And I feel like you got to see the embarrassment on Matt Nagy's face. Did you see the way Trubisky kind of gave him an eye after that fourth down play where
you going to blame me, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And really that's what it's coming down to. Nagy may be losing the guys just a little bit. You know what I mean? And
Nick Foles said when those play calls come in and he knows that they're not going to work. Come on, man. If that doesn't say everything you need to know about the play calling and that Matt Nagy needs some help offensively, then I don't know what else to say, man.
No, because like you said, this is ego. He wants to stay in the category with the Sean McVays, with the Kyle Shanahans, with the guys that, Reese mentioned, with the head coaches that Reese mentioned. You got Kyle Shanahan over there with San Francisco, who is just like a plug in your running back, they're going to get 100 yards. You got Sean McVay over there, who even with Jared Goff, shout out to our family, Jason Goff, but Jared Goff is not considered to be a top quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? He's in that middle of the road, bottom half of the league, guys.
Is he bottom of that? I think he's middle. I think after them first 7 quarterbacks, Jared Goff is in the next level of quarterbacks.
But see, now he can play like that top half, I feel like, any week because of Sean McVay coaches to the best of his abilities. You know what I mean? That's been the issue with Nagy. He's still not doing it. David Montgomery was a first-round draft pick, fam. I don't know why they drafted him. You know what I mean? He's not running the ball. They're not using him in the passing game. So
don't forget these guys could have had, well, we know about the Deshaun Watson and the Pat Mahomes things, but don't forget that they passed up on DK Metcalf either.
Yeah, come on. We can make a long list and have a long conversation about the guys they passed up on. George Kittle, the list goes on. But let's jump into a break real quick. We'll be right back with our guy Flows and Delaney. He covers the Bears for the Bigs. You're on the soil.
WIIFTBPM.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
WIIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
We are back on the soil, dedicating this show to the Chicago Bears. Even though they took a nasty loss yesterday in Monday Night Football, they only scored 3 points versus the Los Angeles Rams. And now, if I'm taking anything from the fans, is that the fans are kind of tired of it, G.
So Mars went all the way out to L.A. to kick a field goal to come back here next Sunday to play the New Orleans Saints.
They got the New Orleans Saints on the lakefront tomorrow. Our guy Joseph Lewis has been covering the Bears all season long for the Bigs. He's going to be on the lakefront next week. We're going to be bringing him on in just a minute. But it's time to get some expert opinions, man. I feel like the fans are kind of going off of the edge. But you would expect that after a loss like that on the national stage. How many times? I saw a tweet that said, how many times have we seen this exact game before? They feel like they've seen this game 1,000,000 times where the defense plays good enough to win and the offense lays an egg. Something has to give, right? I feel like one day the Bears will have a good offense, right?
I just want to know, everybody in the comments, everybody out there watching on Facebook, everybody out there watching on YouTube, while we wait for our boy Joe Lewis to come on and join us for some expert talk. I want to know who you guys give the blame to, because I'm sure a lot of it is going to go to the McCaskies and the ownership. But I think everybody deserves a little bit of blame here. And I think we got our boy Joe coming in right now. Joe, you out there?
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Flows, man? Welcome back on the soil. We didn't hear from you last week. But, man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. What did you see last night, and what's some of your biggest takeaways?
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to
first and foremost, right?
I'm gonna try to condense it. The biggest takeaway I saw was ineptitude. I saw a coach who did not know how to adapt to the game that he was playing. I saw an offensive line that literally should probably not play the game of professional football because they did not know how to maintain gap discipline. They could not block to save their lives. I saw a running back fighting for his life. And I saw a quarterback who was trying to force passes that were not there. And then I saw defense struggling for their lives. It was, and it's not like the Rams are very balanced. The Rams know how to play football and make it very simple and efficient. But it's not like they're a team that is dangerous. So they're not the Chiefs. So it's not a team that the Bears couldn't contain or couldn't score with. But what I saw from the Bears was just terrible. I mean, this is Matt Nagy. That was Matt Nagy's 40th game. And that is the 29th time he has not scored 21 points on offense. That is a horrible stat to go in. And it's crazy because if you look at his record, it was 12-4, 13-3 the first year, followed by 8-8. It seems like, oh, okay, well, he hasn't had that bad of a tenure. But when you fail to score 21 points, which is like the bare minimum benchmark for an offense, it sucks. And so that game, it feels like the Bears are almost 1-6 or something. Even though the Bears are 5-2, it feels a lot worse when you go through a game like that and your defense outscores your offense. They couldn't get anything done. The discipline was not there. The play calling was just atrocious. You have a 4th and 1, and you give it to Cordero Patterson, and everyone knows you're going to give it to Cordero Patterson, who's a wide receiver, not a running back. All I saw from it was just ineptitude. It's Matt Nagy does not know what he's doing. And that's what I take away from it.
And that's the thing, Joe. You're not fooling anyone. You're not fooling anyone. And this is what anytime me and T talk about it, it's just like the comments are saying. It's like, of course those plays are going to work your first year when the scouting report isn't out. But after a year, and then the teams have a whole summer to go back and look at every piece of film available, and now they can put those, because then in between weeks, the team you're going to face the next week, they have even more stuff to look at, scouting reports and everything of that nature to look at. So the further along you go, you have to continue to grow. And I just don't see that from Matt Nagy. And I don't see the willingness from him to grow, like the couple of the comments said. I think it's his ego and coming from that background of Andy Reid. And T was talking about he's like a clone of Sean McVay. He's a low budget Sean McVay.
He wishes he was a clone of Sean McVay. Yes.
He's the great value Sean McVay.
The man, dude. And again, like you said, the defense, Akeem Hicks with a couple terrible penalties. And again, I think, with them not having a chance to breathe, especially last night, it led to them tiring and down to the end of the third quarter and going into the fourth. We saw a bunch of guys gassed out there. The penalties started to add up. And, they start, again, that number one in the NFL in long runs allowed by the opposing offense. And we said it, the next 6 weeks, starting yesterday when we got New Orleans and Tennessee and Green Bay and whoever else we have after that. This is the meat of the schedule where I said we will begin to see who the Bears truly are. And like you said, man, I wasn't surprised at all from what I saw last night.
I want to address exactly what you just said, because I feel like even at 5-1 coming into the season or coming into this week, fans have kind of been waiting for the Bears to lay an egg like this, or maybe not waiting, but they felt like one of these games were on the horizon. What does this say to where this team is right now? Like, should fans be very worried that this 5-2 record is gonna even up soon over the next 3 weeks?
Oh, they should be absolutely worried. They should be absolutely worried. It seemed like the Bears. At first, we went with the narrative that the Bears were just winning ugly, which I guess is fair to say. The Bears have won ugly in their 5 wins.
Right.
But another part of it is the Bears got away with wins. The Bears got away with wins against the Giants. The Bears got away with the win against the Lions. The Lions literally, They were literally they dropped a pass that would have been a definite touchdown. And what would they be sitting at right now? What are they, 3-3? So if they would have actually got that, they would have had a better record than they did now. So the Bears are absolutely a team that the fans should worry about, because right now they're going into a tough schedule. You're playing a team like the Saints, and the Saints are playing their best football, but the Saints have dominated the Bears since, I want to say, almost since the NFC Championship back in 2006.
Wow.
So this schedule is the meat. This is the meat of schedule, as Gino said. And if they can't do this, then I'm expecting this to immediately be 5-5, 5-6. And all of the things that they got away with early in the season are going to come back to bite them. Those penalties, as we saw last night, came back to hurt them. Their inability to run the ball is going to put Nick Foles on an island where the defenses realize they don't have to key in on the run game. Yeah. They just have to make sure they put enough pressure in the face of Nick Foles, and he's going to make a mistake. And when you see Nick Foles struggling, that microscope then goes back to Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. Ryan Pace not getting the talent, not getting the depth that Matt Nagy needs, and then Matt Nagy not calling enough plays that are efficient and simple
Simple, bruh. Simple, man.
See, now, here's the thing. If we can see this, and we aren't NFL coaches, you feel me? We don't get checks to do this. But if we can see this on a week-by-week basis, why is Matt Nagy continuously acting like he doesn't? Because I feel like, Joe, me and you talk, and we talk about how predictable that Matt Nagy has been. I swear that the first quarter of yesterday's game looked like the first quarter of the game before that, the game before that. We know when Patterson is in the backfield, we know exactly what's coming. What's his game plan coming into these games?
You know, it's funny because I want to say Dan Wiederer asked him yesterday, what do you guys need to do to change the game? And he was like, well, we just got to go back and find out. We got to make sure we know what we're doing. And I thought to myself, we're not talking to an assistant coach. We're not talking to a wide receiver coach. We're not talking to a lineman coach. We're talking to the head coach. And his immediate response is, we just got to go find out. You are the head coach. You have been coaching this team. That was week 7 that you've been coaching this team, and you are well into your tenure as a Bears coach, and you still don't understand the problem. Yet the fans can pinpoint, fans who are not professionals, fans who have no teeth in the game, have not ever done this in the professional level, can pinpoint what the issues are, and you can't yourself. That tells me of his inability to lead this team. And people, they asked him today during the Zoom conferences, well, are you willing to give up play calling duties? And his response was, well, we're not right there yet. And I feel like that's his ego coming in. I'm sure it hurts to want to give up play calling duties. I'm sure it does. But when you're not getting it done, which I think is a solidly designed play calling system, the players are not bad, but they're used terribly. If you wait and use Cordell Patterson when the defense doesn't expect it, I think you'll get a big gain out of it. If you put Cordell Patterson in there for the first time in the season on a 4th and 2, some teams say, maybe they're going to run him up the gut with him. Maybe they're going to run an inside-outside zone. Or maybe they're just using him as a spy that's going to play action, and they're going to toss it up to somebody else who's running the flats. There are so many ways you could have used that. But when you use Cordell Patterson in the same ways, up there goes Cordell Patterson, inside zone, we can key in on him, make sure we fill the gaps. It comes so predictable. And when you do that and you don't change for the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons, I feel like it's time to just give those play calling duties up. It seems like he can unite the players, which is a very valuable skill as a coach, but I don't think he can really maintain the ability to adapt to the game. And once again, the Bears fall behind in the modern offensive system. The Bears have not been able to maintain consistency in modern offense from the tail end of Lovey's career. Lovey, I still think, was a great coach, but towards the tail end, he couldn't have maintained it. Mark Trestman and John Fox after him, and now Matt Nagy. It's a shame, and I know fans are tired of it because I'm sure tired of it.
Well said, Joe, man. Let's take a quick break, man. When we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to continue this conversation. We got our boy Joe Lewis, a.k.a. Flows Andolini, on the line, who covers the Bears for the Bigs and for the Barber Chair Network. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with Joe on the soil with the Bigs.
WIFTVPM.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday,
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
You are back on the soil with the Bigs, live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios, talking the Bears Monday night debacle, the Travis Sham mockery
there you go.
of a game last night versus the Los Angeles Rams. Flows, they only scored 3 points. I don't even know how many times they ran plays in the red zone. I feel like the game was really never an opportunity for the guys to take it. But how do they bounce back from this with the schedule is what it is? How can they sneak some wins over the next couple of weeks? Did you see anything that you can hang your hat on it and call it something good?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think
Flo, you with us, bro?
Yeah, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
I see Flows.
We see Flows. We can't hear him. Soon as we get him, he looks like he's chilling, waiting for us to come back. He doesn't know that we're telling him that we're back with him. Give us 1 second. We're going to bring him back on. But in the comments, y'all let me know. How confident are y'all that they can snatch a win over the Saints, over the Titans, over the Packers in the next couple of weeks? Are y'all getting ready to put your Bears flags up? Is the